Welcome to the Jeff Canada Show. But if you're going to get your feelings hurt, you might need to turn this shit off.
What is up, y'all? Hey, I just wanted to do something a little different on this episode of the podcast. I think I'm going to start doing a little intro clip to put on the front of it so we can talk about what I did this last week, what I'm doing next week, and talk about some other stuff that I think I want to talk about without actually being on the actual podcast episode. So let's do that, and I'm going to try to do that every time, and we'll see what happens, and if you guys like it, we'll keep doing it. If you guys don't like it, I'll cut it off, and we'll just go back to the normal conversation with whoever I'm talking to at the time. So I hope everybody had a great New Year's Eve. Great New Year's so far. We had a great time on New Year's Eve. I played a private party, but got to bring the family with me, and so we had a really good time hanging out with those folks. Private parties are always preferable to me on holidays, just because so many amateurs go out to the bars and act like dipshits, and I'd rather not deal with that. But I'm always grateful for any work that I get. Just want to talk about why I started this podcast. So I started this podcast for a few reasons. One of those things is just more brand recognition, and just more people know my name, and you know, these little clips that I'm posting, all that stuff works out really great for social media, and so that's really one of the reasons why I did it. The other reason I started doing it was I wanted to get better about having conversations. I want to be able to have a conversation with somebody and listen to them for what they actually are saying, and not already have my response already picked out before they're even done talking. I really want to be able to become a better listener and a better conversationalist, and that was why. But the biggest reason I wanted to start this podcast was so I can shed a light on other interesting folks that are doing really cool stuff in the world. We need more people doing really cool stuff in the world and less people just being dipshits. That's what we need. I think that's what we need. And so I'm going to have artists on. I'm going to have musicians and lawyers and cops and criminals and gay people and straight people and just down the list, man. I'm just going to have anybody that I feel is an interesting person to talk to. I want to have a talk with them. And so that's why I got the podcast started, and that's what we're going to do. And if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, that's cool too, man. That's the best thing about being so much content out on the internet is you can find the shit you like and skip the shit you don't like. Or you can be a fucking asshole and leave shitty comments on stuff that you don't like, instead of just scrolling on and doing your own thing. But either way, hey, whatever works for you. So I want to talk about a couple things that we got coming up. So January 12th, I'm going to be at Creekwood Grill in Cypress, Texas. This is a cool little spot. It's a family-friendly spot. I play there once a month. Really cool owner, really cool staff, great food. It's just a really, really cool spot. January 13th, I'll be at Shanahan's in Montgomery. That's a late show. It's one of the only late shows I have. I don't start till 10 o'clock. It's 10 to 1. But it's not family friendly. It is there's fucks and there's shits and there's cocks and all that stuff that's said on the microphone. So you probably don't want to bring your family out to that show. You might want to bring them out to the Creekwood Grill. Then on the 14th, January 14th, I'll be at Bullet Grill House. Now, this is a rare show because I'm starting at noon because we're trying to get all the show in before the playoffs. So big thanks for Bullet Grill House for being one of those venues that does not cancel live entertainment due to sporting events. They just move it around to fit everything. And so thank you so much, Bullet, for doing that. I wish more venues would do that. And then the big show is January 19th. We all know about it. January 19th, my birthday bash, Sawyer Park Ice House in Spring, Texas. It's a 21 and up show. It is a ticketed event. Tickets are $10 a piece. I think the tables are sold out, but I'm not quite sure yet. It's just a couple weeks away. I got my good friend Daniel Andrews opening up that show. He's playing full band. It's gonna be awesome. And playing before him, I'm bringing a kid in from Alabama. His name is Joey Collins, and he's gonna kick it off acoustic before Daniel. And then we're gonna get on stage, me and the boys, and we got some surprises coming. And if you've been to one of my birthday shows, you know it's always just a mess. And so hopefully this year it's as messy as it's always been, and we just have a great time. So that's what's coming up. And then one thing that I want to talk about that's been a big topic of discussion this week is Texas radio. And so a lot of y'all have heard my stance on Texas radio. A lot of y'all are probably getting tired of hearing my stance on Texas radio. And I'm not going to talk about it much more, but this is what I'm going to say. First, I'm going to do some education. So there's radio. and there's Billboard, and there's national radio stations like The Bull here in Houston, or 93Q Country here in Houston, the big radio stations. If you're doing a radio push for national, it's very, very, very expensive. I don't know what the number is, $50,000, $60,000, maybe more. I don't even know. I'm pulling that number out of my ass. But if you're getting played on those stations, you're going to gain fans because millions of people listen to those stations. Okay, so that is a national radio, regional radio, like big, not even regional radio, national radio. It's big stations that are playing all the Luke Bryans and the Luke Combs and the big pop stars. They're not playing a small time artist. Okay, so I'm not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Like that radio, that part of radio is very much still alive, and it's still creating fans. If you can get on those stations, it will create you fans. Okay? What I'm talking about is Texas radio, and here's the difference. Texas radio is small market radio. Okay? It's playing red dirt, Texas artists. There's a station in Houston called KKK. There's smaller market radio stations, and those stations play a lot of us smaller red dirt independent artists. Okay. There is value to being put on those stations. You want your songs to be played on the radio. Like, I love it. It's one of the coolest things I do is when one of you guys tag me in a post saying, hey, I heard your song on the radio. It's a cool feeling. It is a cool feeling. But the problem is, there are these charts. Okay, there's Texas radio charts. And the ones are, the big chart is the T3R chart. That is run by Dave Smith. I don't know Dave Smith. I've never met him. I don't really know anybody that is part of that chart, but I do know that I went to their award ceremony last year, and it was an amazing, it was a really, really cool award ceremony. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure that he has the best intentions for artists. I don't know, so I hope that this doesn't come across as a slight on him. Then another one is the Texas Country Music Association. That is ran by Linda Wilson, who she's fantastic as well. I mean, I love her to death. She likes me. I got to play their after party this year at their award ceremony. It's a chart. Then you have the Texas Internet Radio chart. That is ran by Mark Sebi. The Texas Internet Radio chart is basically made up of I don't know how many stations, but it's all internet radio stations. That doesn't mean terrestrial radio. That doesn't mean the small market radio. That means that it's somebody like Texas Radio 1, for example, right here in Conroe, Texas. Those guys are awesome. I love those guys. They are putting in the time and effort and the money to put out these curated playlists on the internet so you can go listen to. That's what the internet chart is. Okay, so if everybody understands the difference, you got national radio that has like Luke Combs and shit. Then you have terrestrial radio and internet radio combined on the Texas Country Music chart and the T3R chart. And then you have the internet radio chart, which is no terrestrial radio stations, only internet radio stations. Now, I could be wrong about some of this. This is just what I think I know. So if I say something wrong and you want to leave some comments or you want to correct me, please, or you want to come on this podcast and let's have a conversation about it. Dave Smith, I'd love to have you. Linda Wilson, I'd love to have you. Mark Sebi, I'd love to have you. I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. So here's the problem. I want my songs being played on the radio, but I don't care about the charts. I just don't care. And the reason I don't care about the charts is because of what it takes to get on the charts. It's not about hard work. It's not about how good the song is. It's not about how talented you are. It's basically you have to pay $5,000-ish or so to a radio promoter. That radio promoter then sends your songs out to these radio stations. Those radio stations may or may not pick it up. How well your radio promoter works his ass off, or how well he's known, or how much money he's paying depends on how many spins you get. Like, there's just so much room for corruption in that environment, but I also understand the need for it. So then after the radio promoter's concerned, then you have the charts, and the radio promoter contacts the program director. Okay, the program director then spins your song if he likes your song. Okay, so let's talk about the difference in charts. The Texas Internet Radio chart and the Texas Country Music Association chart, they're all what's called digitally fingerprinted. What that means is every so many seconds, a software goes out and pings the station and finds out what song they're listening to, and it comes back and that gives you a count. So it's far more accurate. It's probably not completely accurate, but it's far more accurate than the old way of handwriting spins in. Okay, the T3R chart, which is the biggest chart in Texas, that chart is not digitally fingerprinted. It is still handwritten in. What that means is a program director says, okay, I'm going to play Jeff Canada, or I did play Jeff Canada 25 times this week. Okay, that's handwritten in. All right, you get that? The station can never get around to spinning your spins. There's also projected spins. And what that means is we project we're going to spin you 25, so that's what we're going to write in. But then other things come up, new songs, news, all these other things that may keep you from. So basically what that's saying is the radio station is saying that they're playing your song 25 times a week. But in turn, and really they may not be playing it all, or they may be playing it 10 times or 5 times or 20 times and not 21 times. So it's just not very, there's so much room for corruption in this model. Okay, I'm not accusing anyone of that. I'm not calling out any names. But let's just talk about the facts. There is so much room for corruption. And in my experience with the human condition, if there's room for corruption, there is corruption. So what now with all this new drama coming on is you got Brian Sprague is starting this new chart called the Official Texas Country Chart or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. And all of the other charts, not all the charts, Linda Wilson from the Texas Country Music Association seems to be embracing it. But the internet radio chart and the people from the T3R chart are like up in a fucking tizzy because this new chart's coming out. Now, part of that is because Brian used some inflammatory language and called some, not necessarily called people out in general, but called out the corruption. And so they're coming after him, and I understand that. So that probably could have been rolled out a little bit better. But it is what it is. I'm going to tell you what my opinion is about all of this stuff. I'm not speaking for any other musicians. I'm only speaking for myself. What I want, this is what I want. First off, if you're going to have a chart with today's technology, it needs to be digitally fingerprinted. Like the data needs to be represented as accurately as possible. And handwritten spins, I'm sorry, is just not as accurately as possible. You're falling short. So that needs to be fixed. That's the first thing. So all charts, in my opinion, need to be digitally fingerprinted. That's my opinion. And I would assume that most people would agree with me. Maybe not. I don't know. But the second thing that we have to get fixed, to fix this, to get this to where it's all on a more level playing field with less likely of corruption and more likely of hard work, is the radio promoters need to go to more of an incentive-based pay. Because what it is now, right now at this moment, you go to a radio promoter, you give them $5,000, they go out, they start promoting the thing. But you see, they get the $5,000 regardless. Some of them do ask for a bonus if you get to a certain level on the chart, which I think what needs to happen is a combination of the two need to come together. What I think needs to happen is your radio promoter needs to have a price of what he's going to charge you to get your song on the radio. So if it's $1,000, it's $1,000. So basically what I'm saying is you're going to pay a radio promoter $1,000. Then each mile marker that they hit for you, you get another. Then they get a bonus. So so on the T3R chart, if you make the top 50 on T3 chart, it's another $500. If you make the top 50 on the whatever chart, it's another $500. Like more of an incentive-based thing, because what that does, it makes everyone in the puzzle all working towards the same goal, and that is getting you as high as they can on the chart. Why does a radio promoter give a shit what number you hit if you've already paid them the $5,000? And there's no other monetary incentive to get you higher. It makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense. And there's not there, and I've had multiple conversations with multiple people in the industry, and nobody can make it make sense. So that is my opinion on radio. It needs to be fixed or not. But at the end of the day, it really shouldn't matter. I mean, if you're worried about number ones in Texas, if you're worried about those things, I'm sorry, but those number ones are not getting you asses in seats. Is it good to be on radio? 100%. But the number ones don't matter. The number 10s don't matter. It might get you a little social media cred. It might boost your numbers a little bit on your songs. But it's not not worth the $5,000, right? What I look at radio as just part of my advertising budget. So myself, I can get it digital fingerprinted for I don't know how much money, $100. I can get it uploaded to CD Text or CDX, whatever it's called. I can get that uploaded for whatever, less than $500, and then I can email out to the stations myself. I don't need your help to do so. So why is that the price? Why is it $5,000? And when I really get upset about it is because this is why. Me, the writer, I write the song. And then me, the art recording artist, I record the song. I pay for all of that. It's $2,000 to record a song. Then if I want to market it correctly, I need to make a music video. Well, music video is another $2,000 or $3,000. So me, and then on top of that, you need advertising budget. Well, fuck. If you're telling me that every song that I release that I think should be a radio single is going to cost me $5,000 to create it and then another $5,000 to promote it just on radio, like, I don't see how that makes sense. I do not, for the life of me, see how that makes sense. And I'm not going to buy into it anymore. But something needs to be done to fix it, because what's being reflected on the charts is not what's being reflected in the seats. And so those things to me need to come closer together. And I don't know how to get it there, but I do know that the first step is getting the corruption out of it. The second step, and in order to do that first step, you need to be as accurate with the information as possible. Also, I've seen this on my own on charts. My song move spaces a couple times a week. How does that happen? Why is my song moving? Once you announce the chart, once you release the chart, that chart should be the chart for that week, and those places should be there. That's what they should be. Not my chart is, 72 on Monday and 76 on Wednesday and then 71 on Thursday. And I've literally seen that happen with my songs. How, if you're recording the data or reporting the data properly, how does that happen? So that is my feelings on Texas radio. For those of you that are in the industry, I'm sure that some of y'all agree with me. I'm sure that some of y'all disagree with me. I really hope I didn't upset anybody by saying this. I just tried to speak the facts. I didn't try to slander anyone. I'm sure that everybody out there, most people out there, have the best of intentions. I just want to see what we can do to better the industry for the artist. I know that you guys want to make your money. I know that you want to have your charts. I know that you want to have this power. That's fine, take it. But what I want is I want to be able to put my music out in a somewhat affordable manner for the masses to hear. And if I can upload my song for free to Spotify, into Apple Music, into the platforms that frankly are being used a lot more than these small market radio stations, I can do that for free. Why am I paying $5,000 to do that? It makes no sense. That's my opinion, and I'm sure that I'm going to get blacklisted from some stations. And one more thing. I've met a lot of phenomenal people in Texas radio. Nick Russo, Corliss, Zach United. Just so the dudes from Texas Radio 1, Jimmy and all those guys, man. Just so many cool people from the radio. The guy, Sterling, up in Sterling Country Radio. Just go down the list, man. There's just so many cool people that are in the thing, and they're just doing what they got to do to survive. So I'm not knocking anyone for the hustle. I'm just asking, can we please just all get on the same page and say the data is the data, and we're going to report the data, and we're not going to manipulate because so-and-so, and here's a big thing too. A lot of the owners of charts are also radio promoters. And to me, that's a conflict of interest. That's just my personal opinion. It's a conflict of interest. How can you be a radio promoter promoting artists and own the chart that you're promoting for? Of course, your artists are going to get higher on the chart, especially if there's no if you're not reporting the data accurately, because there's so much room for error. There's so much room for corruption. So I just ask that we fix it. That's it. I don't care. Y'all don't have to fix it. If you don't fix it, that's cool. You can keep doing whatever you want to do. I'm personally not playing into it anymore. What I'm doing now, the way I'm approaching it, is I'm recording the song, I'm putting it out, and then I'm sending it out to my friends in radio. And if they want to play it, they can play it. If they don't have to. But I'm not even digital fingerprinted, because I don't give a shit, like less than a shit, about being on the charts. I just don't. I mean, would it be cool to get a number one? Yeah, if it was accurately represented, then I would. But it's not. At this moment, it's not. But it can be fixed. It's not too late. You know, how about instead of all this fighting back and forth between, you know, Mark and Dave and or not Dave, but whoever and Brian, why can't we let's do this? Let's put a big conference together with all the Texas radio guys, and let's put it together, and let's all go in and come up with a best practices, and let's eliminate the corruption. The only reason to go to battle with each other at this point is if you're doing something, you're worried about something. You're worried that the data is wrong. You're worried that something's going to come out. Just get together and come up with the best practices. So that's all I'm going to say about Texas radio. That's how I feel about it. You know, I hope that the radio stations that are playing my song "I'm Here," I hope that it gets listened to, and I hope people like it. I really, really do. It's got to get fixed, or you're going to have more and more artists not give a fuck. And I know tons of artists, that don't give a shit about the charts at all. So enough about that. With that said, this week, my episode is with Jeremy Webb. He's a friend of mine, not that good of a friend. I haven't known him that long, but he's a super nice guy, totally smart, you know, very talented already. He's only been in the music industry for a few years, but 3 or 4 years, but he's killing it. He does some tax stuff. He does some safety stuff. He's kind of a well-rounded person, and I hope you enjoy this episode of the Jeff Canada Show.
Sure. And you can wear the headphones if you want to. You don't have to. It's up to you. I'm going to wear them, but
I think it's better, yeah.
It's whatever you want to do, bro.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Yo, I have my buddy Jeremy Webb on here today. What is up, dog?
Hey, man, how's it going? I appreciate you having me out here.
Are you nervous?
Not really.
You said you haven't done one of these before?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't be nervous. And don't just be you. Just be real. Like,
yeah, no, that's fine.
There's only gonna be like 3 people watch this fucking thing. So
I've seen a few more than that, but yeah, right
so
on.
you can just be yourself and chill. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know a ton about you. I've met you a few times.
Right.
You're a super nice guy.
Thank you.
I think we're buds. But I don't know a lot. I don't know a whole ton about you.
I don't. I mean, I've only been on the music scene for a few years, 3 or 4. You know, I started running around with Brandon Smith, and
fuck that guy.
I mean, yeah, but no,
kidding.
like
I love Brandon.
you know, I was basically just running around with him, groupie to roadie to sound tech to guitar tech to tour manager, just kind of learning the ropes, just for fun. You know, I had a pretty good job and stuff, and he's eventually like, hey, go do this yourself. Like, you're coming up here with me and singing and stuff, and I like it, but you're too pretty for me on stage. I don't think he said that, but I think that's what he meant.
Are you playing full time, or you still have a job?
I'm constantly going. I own a consulting firm that does the tax stuff. Like I've said, I do safety classes still. I was in industrial safety for
what does the tax stuff
years.
do?
So we help manufacturers achieve tax exemptions they either can't achieve on their own or they don't know about. The most specific one is getting them exempt on their sales tax for their utility usage, electricity, natural gas. So like when they buy nuts and bolts to build the cameras or whatever, they can be sales tax exempt because the end user pays it. The electricity that goes into that can also be tax exempt. You can't just say I'm a manufacturer, though. You have to have an engineering study to prove the worthiness, and that's what I do is engineering studies that show, hey, this is a manufacturer. This equipment is being used for manufacturing purposes. So it saves them 8.25% off the top of their electricity bills, which could be, massive. You know, whenever they're searching around for different providers, it's a penny here, a penny there to save, and this is 8.25%, so it's massive. Yeah. So I've been doing that for since 2011, so 12 years, I guess, in various capacities, and now I'm pretty much doing all the studies for The company I started with, Texas Tax Consultants, my cousin owns it, doing that, and then I've got Webb Consulting now that does it on the side also, so I don't have to do sales and all the other stuff too. It's basically just when somebody needs to study, I can go do that, and better usage of my time.
So are you a CPA or are you?
No, so CPAs typically look for whatever you're doing. They make sure that's okay. The government's not gonna, hey, this is illegal or this is shady or whatever. They don't typically go look for exemptions. They just basically verify what you're doing. So it's not something they would typically know about. I've had several companies like CPAs be like, this doesn't exist. You're making it up. I'm like, here's the law. It's rule 3.295. It's this subsection A. So it's fun. It's
So
really
basically,
cool.
you're smart and you're not a fucking dipshit like I am. Like, I tell you what, man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna be serious about this. I have not done my taxes since 2020. I haven't. Before 2020, 2019 and past, I was on point all the time, man.
Yeah.
And then when COVID happened, it just
Same.
kind of derailed everything. And then I got mad, and now I'm at the point now where I'm so mad at the federal government that I just don't give a fuck. And I know that's not right. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just keeping everything and hoping that I get a payday soon.
That's pretty much how I am. I get it.
And then if I get that payday, I'll do it all at one time and I'll just knock it out. And because right now I don't make enough money to. I mean,
I'm the same way. On paper, I don't make hardly anything. Mostly music is full time, and it's cash or check. Sometimes they'll 1099, but for the most part they don't. So it's
you're a tax guy, and you're telling that you don't claim everything. What the fuck, bro?
I haven't done my taxes damn near since COVID. I think I did 2020, but that was the last one because I didn't make anything on paper. I think I got unemployment because they were paying the gig workers some unemployment. And I got that. So I did that, but that's about it.
Those motherfuckers. I got unemployment for 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Really?
That's how long I got unemployment.
I got it for like the whole time.
And then now they're coming after me to get it back. They want it back.
They tried to do that too, and they're like, "Well, you didn't have a job before." I'm like, "Here's the paperwork." And then
I told them to fuck themselves. Like,
maybe that's not the best approach.
I don't care.
I get it.
This is what's going to happen. I don't think this has happened yet, but I think what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a huge lawsuit against the federal government for what happened in 2020.
I hope so.
Or the state government. Both. I think both of them can happen.
I think it should be all of it, multitude, even local governments and stuff too, that were enforcing certain things that they shouldn't have been enforcing. They have no right to enforce. I agree. I hope that happens.
And instead of these motherfuckers, we're not going to get crazy political in this thing.
Yeah.
But instead of those motherfuckers relieving student debt or sending all this money over to Ukraine, like, that's our tax dollars that we've been paying into the system.
Right. Yeah.
That should come back to us.
Exactly. U.S. first. I mean, not just U.S., but us first.
I'm talking about those of us 1099 workers. We're the ones making the fucking money. We're us 1099 workers. We're the ones doing the things. Us
exactly.
Consultants or whatever.
Right.
Like we're like 1099 workers make up a lot of the economy.
I would lump like service into that too, because most of them get $2 an hour, so it's not like they're really employees anyway either. So I'd lump them into that stuff too, and everybody just gets taken so much advantage of. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I've talked about it before, man. I think it would obviously hurt your career, but I wish anything. I would give anything if we would do away with all taxes, every single tax on the books, every single one, and then just start a consumption tax.
That's the way I've always looked at it. The consumption tax is the way to go. That
I don't understand. Why can't we do it?
Because then you can't pick winners and losers.
I mean, I don't understand why. Because this is always my reasoning behind it. If you go to just a straight consumption tax, 20%, 30%, whatever you want that to be,
sure.
But you do away with property tax, you do away with all that. That means when you buy it, it's yours forever, no more taxes.
Correct.
On it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that means that the company you bought it from has to pay taxes.
Fair enough. Okay,
right?
One time, done.
One time,
not
done.
Exponential. Yeah.
Every month they take in all the taxes they made and they send it in to the government. Yeah. It's that fucking simple. You don't have to do away with the IRS, because the IRS all it will shift gears from the American people to the corporations.
Simple enough. Yeah.
It's easy, right? But the biggest benefit of that is anyone who's visiting from out of town, anyone who's over here illegally, anyone who, like all the millionaires that get all the tax exempt shit, all of the poor people that don't
Yeah.
You know what?
All the drug dealers and all the other people too. That's an instant revenue creation because they're not paying taxes on that, but they have to now. So it's like some couple billions of dollars which isn't huge on the grand scheme of things, billions whenever we're talking about that, but it's instant couple billion that comes into revenue in tax revenue because those people now have to pay taxes because it's a consumption tax. But
you don't have any of those motherfuckers in Washington. None of them. Not one of them.
No.
Talking like this.
Yeah.
Because they're all too busy talking about bullshit.
They would probably get eliminated pretty quick. Ron Paul was pretty big about a consumption tax.
Was it a consumption tax or a flat tax?
He called it. Yeah,
I can't remember either.
it's been years. I got out of politics. I used to be pretty big into politics. Like the Texas Nationalist Movement for Secession. I was like on the ground getting signatures. Let's do this, and we got all the signatures, and it was supposed to be on the bill. And a Republican actually shot it down of all people. I'm like. He's like, no, I know you got the 10,000 or 100,000 or how many signatures. I think it was 20,000 we had to get. We got the 20,000 signatures. He's like, yeah, but we don't want to put it on there, so we're not putting the referendum on the bill.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily for that. I don't think we should. I don't think we should secede. I just think that we should. I just think the federal government itself needs less power, less authority, more states' rights.
Absolutely.
But I also think that I think that's something that you can go to jail for in one state.
We instantly went to politics.
I don't
give a shit. No, I'm having a great time. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
But I also think that if anything that you get arrested for in one state, you should not be arrested for in another state.
That's. I mean, that seems logical and fair.
To me, that should be the way we make our federal laws.
Yeah.
And then your state laws are. I don't think jail time, none of that stuff should be state. What are they going to? I don't think you should go to jail for whatever. But I don't think you should go to jail for anything, except for like murder and theft, like hardcore.
I mean,
shit.
Yes, something that physically hurts somebody. Where there's an actual victim in that. Victimless crime makes up the hugest population of the prison population right now. Like it's not so much anymore, but it's like 40% was just drug crime, just minuscule.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
But. So the second part of what you do after the taxes. Sorry about that.
No, we're good. We can loop back around to whichever. I get scatterbrained too. I want to go off on tangents. So. That's what we're here for, right? So talking to tangents. So I've been in industrial safety 2005-ish, 6. I got started at a safety company just doing the IT stuff. I was an IT prodigy as a kid. I was working from my high school at like 15. So I was doing that, and then I started learning the safety stuff. My dad was in industrial safety of sorts, and then I just did that for a long time. And then now I've done it so much. All those guys have been reaching out like, hey, can you come teach this class and that class? I'm like... It's really lucrative. So yeah, I'll go, teach an 8-hour class and make, $1,000 or something like that. So it's not so bad,
Dang,
I do have to get up early, which I don't like. This musician lifestyle's gotten to me now. If I get up before 10, it's like, it's a stretch, but you used to it, especially for the money. So
how many of the classes that you teach and you look out at are the crowd is doing the same exact thing from your shows? They're just like fucking not paying attention.
Well, so one of the biggest things I do is it's an adjunct professor technically for a state college. I do Texas Department of Transportation safety classes throughout the U.S. So there's a lot of Hispanic workers, and unfortunately some of them don't speak very well English. But they're most of them are pretty attentive. Actually, I'm pretty fun and lively. A lot of it's just dry. I'm reading the PowerPoints, but I'm like, let's stop. Let's actually talk. Let me tell you about a story I had, and it's usually pretty interactive. I try to make it as fun as possible, and most of my material that I'm in is, if it's an 8-hour class, it's only about 4 hours of actual material. So we'll spread it out, take plenty of breaks and stuff like that to alleviate that. So, but it's usually not too bad. It can be, where it's just blank stares like, okay, we done yet?
And a lot of those skills go across to playing live shows and performing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It works out pretty well.
Yeah. Public speaking and all that stuff. It's always weird to me when a front man is bad at public speaking. I'm like, I don't understand that at all.
I would not understand that either. Like, after doing this for a couple of years now, finally, I'm a little more introverted these days. Like, I don't go out anymore unless I get paid. Like, you want me to come to your bar? I'll come play music, but you're going to pay me for it. So, like, every now and then I'll go out and I'll get an itch to go drink or something like that. But I don't want to be around people anymore. I want to be at home with my puppy, my girl, and like.
It's so bad. So in 2020, man, I was 2018, 2019 when I separated from my wife, and then 2020, and the first half of 2021.
I was going out a lot, dude, and I was partying a lot, and I was just hanging out with everybody.
Yeah.
And then of course I met Candace, and then I stopped drinking. And
She's so awesome. I love her.
she's great, dude. But then I quit drinking, and so like last night we went to the Flying Pug Christmas party.
Oh yeah.
And so we were there, and listen, I love those people. I love them, but I didn't really want to go. And the reason I didn't want to go is because there's a lot of people there that I don't like from my crazy days of being stupid in this area.
Yeah, especially if you're not drinking too, man. I can't be around people when I'm sober and they're drinking.
Well, it doesn't bother me if I'm somewhere else. But when I'm here, like if I go to like if I walk in exit 73, or if I walk into any of these bars in and around here that I frequented a lot in those times,
right.
It's just like, and also now that I'm starting to get a little bit of status, if you will.
No, absolutely.
Like the other night I went into Rowdy's, dude, and it was crazy because I was like watching, and everybody was like, dude, it's Jeff Canada. Dude, it's Jeff Canada.
How does that feel? It feels pretty good, don't it?
It's fucking weird. It's so weird because I'm just Jeff. I'm just me. Like, just come up and say hey. And a lot of people did. A lot of pictures taken, all that stuff.
Sure.
And it's really it's just fucking weird.
I get it. I mean,
but it's still cool.
Certainly nowhere on your, you've done this a lot longer is what I mean. I'm not trying to say who better than anybody. That's not what I mean.
Definitely not.
But I've had maybe half a dozen times where it's like, wait, you're in Pure Cane Sugar. I'm like, yeah. And I don't, but it is a great fucking feeling, because most of the places I play are Northeast, where I live in Kingwood, but I play all over, and had that happen in Cypress. Like a couple came out to Cypress Trail Hideout, home of Papa Charlie's barbecue, whatever. And
love those dudes too.
They were, these people, I recognize them. I think they were just getting along to every song. I'm like, dude, some of these are originals. How do y'all sing along with this? Like, we've actually seen 2 of your shows. We came here because we heard you were here tonight. I'm like, you're our first actual fans that aren't family and friends. Okay.
Awesome.
And then, it really was a cool feeling. So, I'm hoping it gets more and more, but, I'm happy where I'm at too. I like playing the bars and all. I like where I'm at. I just like singing, man. Just want to be heard and sing.
Yeah, I mean, on stage is my happy place. Like, that's really, it's not work to me. Like when I'm playing, I love it.
The setup and all that is too, or I could be hungover or just tired, but hit that first downbeat and it's like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. We're all good.
Yeah,
I'm playing at the Rustic. Okay, cool. Let's go.
Yeah, and nobody's gonna pay attention to you. Rustic's a hard crowd, man.
Oh man, we're headlining there with my full band Saturday for the first time. I've been playing solo shows and opening and stuff, but we've never actually done that. So I'm pretty excited for Saturday. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that's badass. And the name of the band is what?
Pure Cane Sugar.
Pure Cane Sugar.
No hard R's.
No hard R's. Just a sugar. Sugar.
Yeah, it's all spelt weird. There was technically a Pure Cane Sugar out of like Washington State or something like that. And they never did anything, but I didn't want to have any, copyright issues or anything like that. So I just spelled it different. And
is it all covers, or is it you got some original stuff?
We could do an original set. We have plenty of originals,
cool.
man. John Ruiz is my lead guitarist, and he's got probably 50 songs that are great, And then Jack Emerson's my rhythm guitar dude with me and sings. He's got at least a dozen that are fantastic, if not more. And so we could easily do originals. I've got a couple, but we mostly covers to get into places. Once we hopefully Rustic will start set a little more precedent, so we can do, originals more so than covers. But
yeah,
starting out how it is.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I did it for 16 years, nothing but covers. Like fuck originals, and then all of a sudden, some bad shit happened. I started writing some songs, and it was like,
isn't that funny how that damn near needs to be something bad that happens to equate to getting that feeling like, I'm gonna write about this. I'm gonna show them what's up.
Yeah, what's really funny is lately I've been writing all this shit ton of like positive songs, like positive and love songs, and I'm like, babe, like I'm gonna need you to cheat on me or something. I'm gonna need you to cheat on me so I can fucking write some sad songs, because my fan base is gonna start thinking I'm going all cotton candy and rainbows on this shit.
Like I was gonna say Wade Bowen, but that lovey dovey, just everything's happy and slow and. Yeah, but I dig it. That's cool.
Wade's a cool dude. I got to play a private party with him in Kingwood in the backyard for like 50, 60 people this year.
Yeah.
And man, it was such a fun experience. That dude's really good. He's so down to earth, humble.
I met him once. I got mistaken for him once in Las Vegas, actually, of all places. I was with Brandon Smith and his wife.
You're about the same height.
Yeah, our beards and everything were exactly the same that night. We were wearing all the exact same shit. Brandon Smith's wife worked for Hui at the time. And Hui did all the NFR stuff in December, and Brandon and I were just walking around doing whatever we wanted and looking at the musician setups and stuff. And like somebody grabbed me by the arm and like, hey, come on, we got to get you set up. I'm like, I don't think I'm playing tonight, but maybe. He's like, you're Wade. I'm like, no.
That's funny.
It was a fun trip too. Then we got drunk after that. So it's Vegas.
Yeah, it's really funny how some people act around celebrities, even if they're like more local celebrities. It's just some people just.
I fanboy. I have no
Do
qualms
you?
saying it. Like, man, like Roger Krager is my favorite. And I've seen probably 50 of his shows.
Yeah, he's great.
And I was, I've been to Big Cabo Fest a couple times and hung out with him and stuff. And I think finally now, every time I see him, it's, hey, what's up? It's good to see you again and stuff. But like for the longest time, I was just fanboying out. He was the one that inspired me to want to do this. It's his music, it's about drinking and having fun. And it's like, hey, I like to do that. So,
Yeah.
I get that. But now it's not so much. Now that I've been backstage with a lot of those people, now it's more, hey, I appreciate your work and I really like you. And, let's hang out sometime. And, it happens every now. I mean, we're hanging out. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm nobody, dude. I'm just a fucking dude who writes some songs for some folks. And
I mean, isn't that how it starts, I guess?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, it's really funny because I used to look at all those guys the same way, man. I used to look at those guys like, man, they're untouchable. They're the top. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
guys like William Clark Green and Randy Rogers and all those dudes, man. And then when I started opening up for them, it was like, I mean, some of them are total buttholes, dude. Like some of them are like, fuck you, dude. But some of them, man, like all the guys I just mentioned, Corey Morrow and all those dudes.
William Clark Green's are just a cool.
Yeah, dude, they're all just so Kevin Fowler. They're all just so cool and down to earth, and it's like this. Okay.
It's like a family when you get on those Texas musician artists are like they're all like a family. They know each other.
Yeah,
I like to think most of us in our level scene too are about the same way too. I mean, I know anybody I've ever met has been nothing but cordial and nice. Like even when I was just starting out and sucked so bad, it's like, hey, we support you, man. Come on. So
yeah, I don't have that same experience in the Houston scene, but a lot of it is my doing. A lot of it because I booked a lot of bands for a lot of years here in this town.
Yeah.
And a lot of them got really upset with me.
You're gonna get haters with that, matter
I wouldn't
what.
book them. I mean, I just if they weren't good enough for the room I was booking, I wouldn't book them.
Sure.
And then that came into Jeff only books his friends, which is not fucking true. I mean, I booked multiple people that I couldn't stand because they had good product,
drew a crowd, and yeah.
I personally feel, and this might be something that's everywhere, I don't know. I just personally feel that not enough people in Houston put enough effort into their product.
I back that 100%. It's just a job to them. It's just
but as soon as you say something about it, you're the asshole. And I'm like, no. Let's not get this confused. You're the fucking asshole.
Right.
Because you're going up and playing in front of fucking people that want to see something good and you're not giving a shit. And
expecting a different result. Like, why aren't they participating? I'm like, you're not even participating. You're just up there going through the motions. It's not participation on your part either. You're not. I believe we're entertainers first and foremost. How we do it is through art and music and stuff. Yeah, but if you're not entertaining, it doesn't matter how good you sing. It doesn't matter how awesome your songs are. If you're not entertaining, then what's the point?
Yeah, that's what I tell everybody all the time. But I guess it just depends. You also have to find your audience, especially when you get into the original world.
Yes.
I know guys that are super serious, and when they get up on stage, there's nothing. It's not entertaining as far as what we would think entertaining is. But if you're one of these guys like me that's super into like lyrics and depth and
listen to that bass line on that thing.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? Like that. Listen to it. Yeah, every little aspect, absolutely.
But regardless of whether you're playing something slow or you're playing something upbeat or you're playing something mid tempo, you have to perform it.
Yeah,
and that's why I get so not angry. Cover bands, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a shit.
Thanks.
But no, I mean about this particular thing.
I know what you're saying.
I mean, I'm still a cover band, but like if you're doing original music and you're reading your lyrics off an iPad,
that happens.
You can't perform it. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like watch a.
It's so hard not to want to like name drop and do that, and I just certainly don't want to do that and piss anybody off. But
I'll do it sometimes.
I got you.
It depends on how bad I hate the motherfucker on the other end.
Like if I'm doing solo shows or like song swaps, I'll have my phone there so I can either, you want to hear this song? I'll try it. But full band stuff first and foremost. No lyrics, no iPads up there. That's just it seems like a given to me.
Yeah, I use an iPad if I'm doing like a 3-hour solo show.
Exactly. It
just in case.
What song do I want to play, or what you want to
Right.
hear some some cover that I don't know necessarily, but it's GCD. I'm sure I can figure it out, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But full band stuff, and especially originals. I mean, you wrote that. If you're not maybe if you just got done writing and you're kind of doing like the first unveiling of it and you don't remember it, but it's probably not ready to perform at that point, so maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm being opinionated now.
No, I mean that's what this show's for. I mean,
guess so,
what
yeah.
I hope is that there's some artists that want to get into this scene, whether it's on the original side or the cover side. That's why, I want to open this up to everyone, not just musicians.
Yeah, that's
Like I don't want just musicians watching this shit because I don't want just musicians even at my shows. Like I just, I want it to appeal to everyone. So I like for everyone who listens to be able to get an in-depth, broad picture of what we go through, and our opinions because,
Sure.
I mean, there's certain things that they need to know. There's certain things that the Gen Pop need to know. Like for example, if you're gonna request a song. Don't come up in the middle of the song and just stand in front of the fucking stage.
Hey, let me ask. I'm singing right now.
Right.
I can barely hear myself. You want me to hear you?
Yeah, like wait till I get done with the song and then start to walk up. I will see you and I will wait on you to get up there and I will listen to everything you have to say. Either that or if you want to come up in the middle of a song, just write it on a napkin. And you don't have to tip me. Like if I know the song and I play it, then come up and tip me.
Sure.
Or if you want to tip me up front, but if you tip me up front, don't get mad because I don't know the song.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's those kind of things. Like it's, but most people don't think about that. So hopefully, if somebody watches this that is just a music lover or somebody that goes out to bars, maybe they'll think about that next time.
Come away with something. Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, and sometimes you don't think about it, man. I was.
Oh, of course.
It's an instance. I was on the Riverwalk, San Antonio, and we were just trotting along different places and went to whatever that Irish pub was or whatever, and there was a guy playing piano and he was kicking ass, and hey, eventually I was, hey, can you play Under Scotsman Killed or something like that? And he's like, yeah, the tip jar's right there. I'm like, shit, man, I didn't even think about it. I'm happy to tip you. I would have happily done it anyway. So there's nothing necessarily wrong either about saying, hey, I'll be happy to help you out. I work on tips. So there's a good point to that too, just to take away for people who are, do that too. Just a reminder. I forget sometimes. I love tipping. I'm a big tipper. Haircut, I tip like 50% just so they make me look good. So it's.
Well, I can tell you from my personal experience is the best tip you can give me is your attention.
100% wholeheartedly. Yeah.
If you can just shut the fuck up.
$5 is not near what that value
get
is
off
intrinsically.
Get off your phone.
Yes. God.
Stop watching the fucking Cowboys game or whatever is on TV and just pay attention. Even if it's just for one song. Even if it's for one song, we make eye contact. Just give me that. Give the musician that much.
That's the only way you can really hear it too. I mean, you can hear the lyrics, but you gotta, our songs, you probably all of your originals, you're gonna hear it through your eyes, through your emotions, through your feelings. So it's not just the sounds coming out, but sometimes maybe it is just musicians that see that. I don't know. Hopefully not. So hopefully, you people that aren't musicians, take away with that.
Yeah, I think just people are different, and I've also always stood in. There's no such thing as a bad crowd. There's only bad entertainers. I use it. I find it like it's a challenge for me, like personal challenge. Like if I get a shitty crowd, like I'm gonna do things that I wouldn't normally do to get their attention.
Fair enough.
And I think that's a mark of a good entertainer too. You need to the lead singer needs to be the loudest one in the fucking room. He needs to be the cockiest one in the room. And I know that whole stay humble thing, and you should off stage. On stage, there should be nothing humble about you on stage.
Yeah, that's true.
Go to town. Fucking go to town. And this is why no one remembers safe. And that's my number one motto.
I like that.
No one remembers safe.
That's true.
And that's also why I don't do songs that I don't know, because I might do one or two a night if somebody comes up and does that and they're like, hey, can you do this?
Dependent upon the venue for me too. Like, we're playing at Bullet Grill House or something like that. That's some place you still play, and those are just a fun crowd. I will do what I can to make them happy just because I love the crowd and the owners and stuff. So yes, but at somewhere big, every now and then I'll get cocky enough behind stage with a full band and stuff like that. And my drummer is usually the one. We went to high school together, and he's like, I know we know the words. I know everybody knows how to play it. We've never rehearsed this. You sure? I'm like, you're right. Let's not nothing great can come from this. There's a lot of bad that can come. So let's keep it to it. You're right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be a popular song that everybody knows and might sing along to, but the risk reward is substantial, you know. So I understand that too. I got you. I feel that.
Yeah, it's just certain things that I do, but I've never been the kind of guy that says, "Hey, you need to do everything that I do. Like I'm the fucking best. You need to do what I do."
Right.
But I always try to get people to think.
Sure.
Like I'm always like if somebody like I had so many times somebody said, "Hey, can you come out and watch our set?" and then critique us. That has happened a lot of times.
Oh, nice.
And if you ask me that, I'm going to come in and I'm going to give you. Listen, you're not going to grow from me saying, "Dude, y'all were fucking awesome."
No,
Like you're not.
absolutely not.
You know, so the only way you're going to grow, the only way anyone grows is from either constructive criticism or failure. That's how you grow.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to point out the stuff that I think you can get better about.
And if you can't take that, then
Don't ask me the question.
yeah, precisely.
Actually, if you can't take that, you're in the wrong industry.
I was going to say you're in the wrong industry. I mean, you're going to have. I mean, it seems like the bigger you get, the more critics you're going to have. So just get used to it right now.
Bro.
You know, assume that 80% of the people think you suck and probably are talking about you when they're laughing. That's probably about you. That's fine. Shrug that shit off and play to those 20%, and you're going to start winning over the rest of them. You know?
A lot of it's not even that they don't like you. Like a lot of it is not that. Like I mean,
Yeah.
the reason that people don't like the reason they talk so much shit about Nickelback, you know what I mean?
It's because it's fun to talk shit about.
Is not because
Too.
it's because it's the same reason that people don't like the Patriots. It's the same reason people don't like the Astros. It's that they're at the top. They're when you're at the top of your game, you got tons of people looking that wish they could be doing what you're doing.
And finding any little thing to be upset about or tell you why you're doing it wrong or
Right. Like I fucking hate the Dallas Cowboys, right? I'm glad they're doing great this year. I think it's cool. I just can't fucking stand that team.
Yeah.
And really, here's what's really funny. I don't care about the Cowboys themselves, right? They're in the NFC. They don't affect my team at all. I don't give a shit.
yeah.
It's their fans. But what's funny is their fans in Houston are so much different than their fans in Dallas.
They really are.
Like these fuckers down here in Houston that are Cowboys fans are sensitive little bitches. And it's not all of them, obviously. I'm definitely throwing a grand generalization out there.
Yeah.
But it's like I can make a joke about the Cowboys down in Houston on stage, and every single fucking time someone down here wants to fight, or they're gonna make their opinions known. I do that same joke in Dallas, and they all laugh their ass off. Because that's just how it is.
It's a weird thing. I've noticed that too, though. Yeah, I don't like the Cowboys either. It's a deep-rooted emotional issue from my childhood. My stepdad was an asshole, and he loved the Cowboys, and you're just so verbal about it whenever the game days were on, and like
my little brother's a Cowboys fan. I'm just like, fuck you.
Mine is too, but I didn't even really like football till like 2012ish or something like that. Somebody like, hey, you want to go to Houston Texans tailgating? I'm like, I'm not a really big fan of football. I was like, there's drinking. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a big drinking. So went there, and it was the last time they allowed open tailgating. It was a Cowboys and Texans game. It was the last time they allowed open tailgating. You had to have a ticket every time after that because it was so fucking crazy. And I was like, shit, this is awesome. I mean, I get to do this every Sunday. We can do this. Like, so that turned me on to football, and then I started playing like fantasy and got real deep into it for a while. And then COVID happened, and I'm just like, I don't have time to watch football. I'm playing music now.
Yeah, I won't do fantasy anymore. I was talking last night. I was hanging out with Nigel Edison. He was playing at the pub Christmas party, and
Oh, cool.
And it's his first year doing fantasy, and he's like all into it. I was like, dude, I don't want to talk about it because I was at the point where I was doing 4 or 5 teams, all like $100, $200, $300, $500 teams.
Yeah, same.
And like really serious about it, but I haven't played it in probably 4 years. And
COVID kind of did it in like and music too. Like I was trying to get up before noon after having a set till 2 a.m. and not getting home till 4 or 5, and trying to switch my team around before the games at noon, and like it just
dude, you
just can't do that.
Yeah, I got really in depth, man. I would go back and look at the way they played, the way each player played the same week the year before, and the year before, and the year before, and then see if
it's Dungeons and Dragons for sports guys. It really is. And I'm a big avid Dungeons and Dragons guy too. Man, I've been playing forever, so
Really, I did when I was younger.
Yeah, and then I picked it back up a few years ago. Started doing it, and it's been a blast, man. It's so much fun. It's intuitive thinking. It's problem solving and critical.
And you're all over the fucking place, dude.
I am.
Like taxes.
I don't sit still very well.
Like you would definitely see someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons being into taxes. You would not see someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons being into safety.
I guess I just kind of fall into every position I've ever had. Like the reason I was good at computers at a young age is like my dad's a hoarder, so my family has everything. Well, my dad has 10 of everything, including old ass computers that are halfway working, and I'd be doing something on there and it'd break, and I better fucking fix it before he got home, and just guess and check until I did, and I started learning a lot of stuff. And in middle school, I was helping out in the computer lab, but I was actually getting paid in high school to work for them doing computer work. So it was,
cool.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
So you're smart.
I wouldn't say I'm smart.
I sound pretty smart to me. I'm a dipshit.
Maybe
dude.
wise or intelligent. I know a lot of things just because I've done so many wrong things to know how to get to that right answer. But smart, I don't know about all that.
I think I was smart.
Yeah, I think I was too.
I think something bad happened. When I worked for NOV and stuff, I did a lot of IT work, and I would set up a lot of networks and rebuild a lot of computers and that sort of stuff, because I didn't want to have to deal with IT. I just did it myself, and like software. I'm kind of like a software idiot savant, if you will. I can go into a piece of software, I can figure it out in 10 minutes, and then I can write it. I can recreate it.
Nice.
Without a problem.
Never really got into coding too much. I didn't particularly care for it. It was always just a pain in the ass, like learning another language for me. But
yeah,
I get it. I learned
it's something. I don't know what it is. It just clicked. But
sure.
Now, dude, I tried to create a database the other day for. I'm trying to create a system where I can keep everything in one spot and upload it in one spot, and it goes everywhere. That's cool. What I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to create it, but it's like I start working on it, and after 5 minutes, I can't even fucking focus. How did I used to focus on that shit? Because I would sit down with a database and like create a database for a customer or something. And I would write an access or something like that.
Sure.
And I would sit down and I would work on that shit for 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14 hours straight without stopping.
It sounds terrible.
And now I'm like, dude, now I've turned on a computer for 5 minutes. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck off this thing.
I feel that. It sounds like you need to smoke a little more weed or maybe a little less weed. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite. I think it's
a little less weed.
I think it all went downhill when I started smoking weed.
Okay. Speaking of, I have a vape. Is that okay if I?
Yeah, dude. Okay. You can knock out whatever you want to do, bro. This is
I figured, but
we've done some mushrooms on this podcast.
See, I've never done mushrooms actually.
Oh, I got some.
No.
Here's the deal with me. I'm not like a big drug head at all. Like I don't do anything other than I eat an edible at night before I go to bed.
Oh man, it's the best sleep ever.
Yeah, it's the best sleep ever, and it's got me off 4 medications, and I love it.
That's the better. Yeah, that's amazing, man. I love hearing that. It gets you off.
And then a few times a year I'll do some shrooms, and that's it. Like that's as far as I'm gonna go. I don't drink anymore. Now when I was drinking, if you're out partying and having a good time, and then
I know where this conversation is going.
Like, hey, here's a key.
Yeah,
you know what to do with this? You're like, yep, I do.
I mean, my band's name is. Oh, shit, let me have a picture.
Yeah.
You got to see the spelling of it to really understand.
But now I'm just at the point now. If you do cocaine now, you're an idiot. Like there's so much bad shit out there now, dude.
Like shit. That's my logo for my. Hold on, I'm gonna throw it to you.
Like imagine being pure cane sugar.
So I mean, I didn't even mean to at that point, but it was. They're all different spellings of cocaine, and I didn't really even think about it till after the fact. I was just trying to be clever.
Oh,
that's good. I got. So yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I just think now that if you do that shit, and we've talked about that before, because me and Orion lost a friend to fentanyl, and lost a few people, and it's just I think if you do that stuff now, I mean, you're just crazy, because even if you have a trusted source, you just don't know what you're getting. Man.
It's very, very true, and I understand completely.
Yeah, even like vapes and
oh yeah, I mean they can be counterfeit, made underground. You don't know where the hell that shit's made.
And so that's why I get all my stuff from like real places now, because luckily here in Texas they've eased up the laws a lot, and you can buy some stuff that'll.
There's tons of shops around now. It's crazy, and man, all the cops that I know, they're just like, I don't give a shit. I do it too sometimes. You know, so it's great that it's got like that.
Well, luckily, here's the problem, dude. This is what I see changing. People have gotten away from the TV and more to social media for their entertainment.
Yeah.
And so you're not getting this pounding in your fucking head from government sponsored shit, like
all the commercials that you used to have to
this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. This is your brain. What drugs? Like, what drugs makes my brain do that?
I see pills that they push on us. I think that's drugs, and I see the flowers as medicine.
Right.
They see it the opposite way.
Yeah, and I think you're really starting to see that, which is really cool, because
there's just so many proven positive benefits from it, man.
Absolutely, and it's crazy. It's still a Schedule 1 drug.
It's
on the federal
insane.
level. Like cocaine is a Schedule 2, just to give some reference. Meth, I think, is a Schedule 2 still, which is not worse than weed, marijuana. Like,
Well, that's
it's crazy.
and that you want to know what that is, and I'll be the first one to admit this. I know a lot of my fans don't want to hear this, but that's systemic racism. That right there, the fact that that weed is a Schedule 1 drug at all ever,
Yeah.
that is blatant systemic racism.
Man, it can go even deeper down the rabbit hole to how it got started with the paper companies and Reefer Madness, that show coming out. That movie was just nothing but a snuff film. I don't know if you ever watch it. It's pretty comical to watch, especially when you're high.
Yeah, it's comedy now. It wasn't. It scared the shit out of people when it first came out.
I mean, that is a scare tactic beyond belief. It is insane that they got away with all that stuff, man, like that. But that's another reason to go back to why they can't get away with the IRS picking and choosing losers. Then you get rid of lobbyists, and you get rid of all my friends are this, so I'm going to make this tax exemption this. If it's a flat tax, you can't do that. Or a consumption tax, you can't do that.
It's awesome. It's fucking great. Like it's just a win-win all the way around.
Yeah.
And also it just goes to show you that we don't know anything.
That's true.
We know what we think we know. We know what has been fed to us by whatever stream of information is coming through our brains, whether it's from whatever media you watch or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what you know. And all you know is what that person told you.
Yeah, nobody
Like
gets back to...
even the studies. I mean, you can go in and you can break it all the way down. You can go all the way down to a study. But unless you're going to go to that study and you're going to break down who did the study and who funded the study and all this stuff, like where'd the money come from to create the study?
Yeah.
Because if you're telling me now that, let's just say the vaccine, let's just do it. Fuck it. Like, you're going to tell me that the science, the study says this vaccine does this.
Right.
Well, who paid for the study?
Yeah, it was probably Pfizer and...
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Pharma did. So obviously the study's going to come out and say this.
Yeah.
Because they exclude the data that isn't positive for them from those studies.
It's not even necessarily that, too, when it comes to studies. Causation versus correlation is a big, easy, just because there's a correlation there doesn't mean that's what caused it. pH levels in cancer patients or whatever. Like if you're about all this drink pH, whatever, neutral water, if your pH is off by like a 0.01%, you die. Like that's not, it's not like you're drinking a bunch of pH water is changing anything.
Yeah.
Or the study for smoking, which is insanity. It was smoking and secondhand smoke and all that stuff. They left out places like France and Switzerland and all those other ones that actually have a high rate of smoking that have low rate of heart attacks and heart problems and all that stuff like that. They did it on purpose so that it would make it look bad. And not to say the smoking isn't bad. I anything in moderation is probably better than doing too much of it. I smoke whenever I drink.
It's
but
gross is what it is.
It stinks, and I get it. But, it is what it is. But,
it's fucking disgusting.
But to say it's science and proven is not the same thing as, saying something's bad for you or whatever.
But what do all of those, what's really funny is what do all of those countries you just named have in common that we don't have in common?
Universal health care, maybe?
No, their fucking diet. They're not over there eating hyper-processed foods.
And this was back in the fucking 70s or 60s.
Yeah, but even now, they're not. I mean, fucking even Russia just outlawed GMO foods. I mean, but here we are because of money.
Yeah.
I'm a capitalist, dude. I'm a free market capitalist. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But when if it's just wide open,
right,
then greed comes in.
It's always going
and when
to.
greed comes
natural.
in, then things start getting fucked up, and that's where we're not now we're crony.
It's crony capitalism. It's been like that for almost since the beginning. Unfortunately, it's just finally getting to be bad now.
At least since the 70s.
Yeah,
I mean, at least since the 70s. I mean, that's all I can really attest to because that's all I really pay attention to.
I mean, it goes back to the Rothschilds and all that other stuff too. But that's even deeper down rabbit holes. But yeah, it gets back to then too of picking winners and losers basically is what the government's doing with the tax system. That's how it goes. So
yeah.
Yeah,
it's insane, man. It's funny because last night I was laying in bed and just going, waiting for the edible to kick in, and,
going through the motions.
And I was going through TikTok and Morgan Luttrell, Marcus's brother, Morgan Luttrell is now a congressman.
Okay.
And so it's him and two other congressmen, and they go outside and they're like, we just voted on the House floor about electric vehicles and how Biden is trying to get everyone to buy electric vehicles. And then he turns the camera around and he's like, look at all these Democrats leaving the office and all of them are in gas powered vehicles and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, I like the dude. I've met him a few times.
Sure.
I've done some events that he's been on. I just, that kind of shit has got to stop.
I mean,
Like this whole at each other's throats because of our difference in beliefs thing has got to stop. And it's got to stop at the top. It's got to stop there first.
Yeah.
They have to stop doing that. That somebody on Instagram, I posted a picture yesterday, and it was me with my head down. Candace took it and it had an American flag behind it, and then it had a content advisory sticker on it. She just made it in an app one day.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, what can I post to use this? Because it looks cool. And so I was like, the only thing I think of when I look at this picture is, can we please fix this country soon?
I mean, amen to that, right?
And some guy got on there and he was like, he said something about, well, if you vote Democrat, I don't remember what he said, you got to support guys like Trump and Gates and this guy. And my response to him was, I agree. While I agree with their stance, I agree with what they're saying.
Yeah.
We've got to stop yelling at each other.
Yeah.
And those guys can't have a conversation. Trump can't have this kind of conversation.
No.
You know what I mean? Trump can't have a conversation with somebody that he disagrees with. Candace and I did a whole podcast today because we're exact opposites.
Yeah.
And we just sat down and we just talked about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And on the camera. And it's just funny, man, because
I want to see that one.
it's going to come out.
Okay, yeah.
But it's just like, if we could just shut the fuck up. Stop pretending to be right about everything.
Yes.
Say the words, I don't know.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's
Those things.
You called me smart, and it was one of the things my dad taught me a long time ago when I was a wee little lad. Just, it doesn't matter if you know it or not. Just listen. If they say something wrong, then laugh at them later. There's no point in doing it now. Let's do it. You want to have a conversation about it. Different scenario.
Or if you're gonna come back, like come back at it with an educated response.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
An educated response that lets me know that you're actually thinking about this. It's not just you're not just taking in the shit that goes in your fucking brain. And just
waiting for your turn to
regurgitating.
talk. Well, let me explain how I was right on this one, and it's hard to do that for a lot of people. Apparently, it's not easy to have interpersonal communications with a lot of people. I've noticed.
No, it's true, and that goes. Oh, it's all the way up down the board, man. About anything.
I'm sure.
Doesn't matter what it is. You can I don't know. And I'm guilty of it too. I get heated. Like last night last night I was hanging out with Nigel, and I was talking about this new diet that I'm doing, and he was like, whoa, and he was like giving me all this shit. I was just fucking telling him, bro, I don't want to fucking hear what you have to say about anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear it. Like I got my mind made up in my brain what I'm doing, and I'm gonna try it see if it's good for me, and if it's not, then I'll try something else. But right now it's working out great. I feel great. This is what's gonna happen right now.
That's all that matters.
And I started getting like heated, and the next thing you know, I'm like, fuck, man, is my blood pressure high? Like, why am I getting heated about this shit? I should just fucking let him talk and let it go through one ear and out the other. But I was like,
it's not always easy to do.
I love you, Nigel.
Let's see. I assume he listens to these probably pretty regularly.
I don't know. He's gonna come on here. It's just funny, man. Like, but that's the difference. Like, I can be friends with somebody like that.
Yeah, man. I have a ton of friends that I'll argue with, and we're done. Like, yeah, I saw your point. You saw my point. We don't meet eye to eye. We both understand stuff. Universal health care seems to come up a lot whenever we're talking with some of these guys. But like, yeah, it would be better, but who's gonna pay for it? Well, I get where you're coming from. Well, there you go. See, there's both issues to both sides usually. There's it's hard to say that one side's right.
And it's also there may be a right and wrong. There may be like a legit right and wrong, but there's also a real. And Candace and I talked about this with like the whole abortion debate, right?
That's right.
When it's like you got one side that's like, no, it's the woman's choice, no matter what, it's the woman's choice.
Yeah.
Then you got the other side that's saying, but that's a life, and you're taking a life. You're taking a life that would be a life if you did not take it.
Yeah.
And so I understand both sides.
Sure.
Right? I get it. 100% get it.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from a realist perspective, not from your religious
idealistic,
perspective, or your idealistic, whoever.
Yeah.
Like if you don't,
I believe a lot of things in principle, but I don't always follow them.
Right. So here's the
I'm
truth.
a human.
Like the realness of it is, people are going to get abortions whether you want them to or not. Period. End of sentence. Does not matter.
Throughout
That's
history,
it. There is no argument about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The second thing is, anytime you make something illegal, what that does is create a black market for it. And black markets are dangerous. Okay. So why can't we just come up with this fucking compromise that says 12 weeks, 15 weeks, whatever you think it is, up until that point, anybody can get an abortion for anything, no matter what. Doesn't matter. Fucking go kill the baby. Who cares? The other side, after that, no abortions whatsoever.
That's fair.
Period. End of sentence. And you would solve most of the problem.
Yeah.
But you're never going to get there because you got people that are so in their.
There's too many people on each side. Like if you can actually get either side of it to really get down to the issue, it really just comes down to, when is it a life? You know, is it a life outside the body is when it turns life to them? Well, that seems kind of illogical because it could probably still survive in there. It really just comes down to when it is life. And we can argue that all day, but just realistically, yes, it is a life. Yes, you have your right to your body until it's another person's life. When is that? Well, you see what I'm saying? I guess it's really just a time frame. You know,
right,
is
so
this
that's
a collection
why you
of
just
cells a human? Probably not. You know, if it has a heartbeat, it's probably getting close. I don't know.
But you're probably. But if you're,
you just got to find that area. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're like a hardcore religious person and you don't want that at all, then it's never going to get solved.
There's no gray area. There's no understanding that either too. So you know. Well, if it was going to be a life no matter what, then then it should have been a life no matter what. Then we should have found a way, or whatever the case. I don't know. It sounds terrible. I'm not coming across right, but it's really just an argument of when is it a life, and when isn't it? I guess at what point? Because
I can tell you when I agree with it, when I disagree with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I disagree with it 90% of the time. When I do agree with it is if my 13-year-old son gets someone pregnant,
and then
it's like. Okay.
Be as idealistic as you want to till you're 15 and like, wait, my life's going to change forever. I was 17 when I had my kid too, and I was 20
and it was brutal.
Thankfully I'd actually graduated high school in 3 years instead of 4, so I was out of high school.
See, you're smart.
I was lazy. I wanted to get the fuck out.
Got a regular. See, that's smart lazy though. That's smart lazy.
Is it? I don't know. Okay.
Us dumb lazy ones are like, nah, I'm gonna drag this shit out. I don't want to fucking do the work ever. So
I mean, I saw like my sister was 3 years older than me, so I saw she did hardly anything on her senior year. She had like half a day that she came here. I'm like, what's the point of that? Let me go ahead and jumpstart on college.
Yeah, I was that way my senior year.
And it took like 5 years to do college, but whatever. I finished that too. So it happens.
You did more than I did. I didn't go to college. I went to college for 1 semester, and I was like, fuck this.
I was about to drop out after the first one. I never studied or anything. Everything just came so naturally. So whenever I had to study in college, I was like, this is hard.
College is stupid too.
I mean,
unless you're going to be a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or a nurse or a teacher, don't.
I don't need to know the things that I know. I enjoyed learning things all the time. So yeah, it was nice for me. But yeah, I mean,
but you can learn any fucking thing you want to learn on fucking YouTube.
It's insane how much you can learn too.
Anything.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm constantly watching that too.
But again, the government got involved. And started giving these loans out.
Yep.
The government got into the loan business. The government is loaning us back our own fucking money. And guess what? Now everybody's got to go to college. Everybody's go to college. Right. Why? So we can loan you this money and then we can make more fucking taxes on it. Arrgh!
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to talk about the government anymore. Fuck y'all. They know how I feel.
I am skeptical on that comment that you're not going to talk about the government.
I'm going to try not to.
I don't care, man. We talk about whatever. I don't get so heated anymore. I just don't care. It's not a defeatist attitude so much as, what am I going to physically do to do anything about it? We can vote. Does that even matter anymore? We can try to lobby, but we're not rich enough, so.
I got out of it for a lot of years, man. And I was really political at one point, and I got out of it. But lately, dude, I'm starting to really get upset because it's just getting to the point now where it's a joke. And I make pretty good money, dude.
Yeah.
And Candace makes pretty good money. I'm not saying we make great money. I'm not saying we're millionaires. I'm not saying we're even close to that. Sure. But we make decent money.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to struggle. Like I'm getting to the point now where I'm having to pick what bill I'm going to pay.
Damn, yeah.
And I haven't been that way in years, and I'm not making less money. Yeah. It's not what it is.
Inflation is a killer now.
It's not even inflation. It's this fucking crony capitalism.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's inflation, then why are these companies making record profits?
Yeah, it's not real inflation. It's manipulated, but it's
right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid. And so that's the reason I'm kind of getting more serious about it now. It's because
it's starting to affect you more. I mean, it's
Yeah.
affecting everybody. I don't understand how more people aren't homeless right now. Like, I wouldn't say I make a lot of money. I make enough to me be happy and realistically do whatever I want and buy whatever I want, and I'm fine with that. That's cool. I don't want to be rich, but you know, it's getting difficult for me. I have to start eating ramen again and stuff. How are people that are living paycheck to paycheck not on the streets right now? It's ridiculous.
It's insane. Just like rent. Like we're looking for a house right now currently because we're moving out of here on March 1st, and dude, the cheapest house we can find in this area is like $2,300 a month.
It's
$2,300 a month, bro. Like,
I mean, it's like a $300,000 to $400,000 tax mortgage note. You know, a couple years ago, you know, you could get almost a $500,000 house for something like that, paying that for a mortgage.
So just
now.
think about that: $2,300 a month, man. If you make $5,000 a month, that means you got $2,700 left over.
And that's a pretty good wage. $60,000 a year is well above average, or you know.
Yeah.
So it's a struggle. I don't understand how some people are doing it.
So that means if you're a family that makes, let's say, $75,000 a year.
Yeah.
Or let's say $100,000 a year.
That'd be easy math.
Okay, and you're paying $2,500 a month.
Yeah.
For rent. What's that a year?
It's 6 to 18,000. Is that right?
Okay. So 18 out of the 100,000 is just that's just going for where you sleep at night.
I mean, that's not even including bills or anything.
That's just your rent.
Yeah.
That's not your bills. It's not anything else. And so, and I get it that everybody needs to make as much money as they can. And I'm all for the free market. But dude, when are we going to get to the point where the average American can go on a 2-week or a week-long vacation without having to go into the fucking poorhouse to do it?
I don't know.
Never.
I don't know. I've thought about that too, and it's so sad and irritating at the same time. I just, you know what? I'm just gonna get back to work and just do my best and see what I can do. But I feel that too. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just, that's what I'm doing too. I'm hustling, trying to make more money, just trying to figure out ways to make money.
Always.
But it's like, dude, 3 years ago, on the amount of money that I was making, I could go into the studio and I could record and I could shoot a music video and I could do all these things. I could do those.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I can't do any of that shit.
That sucks.
I like work. I mean, that's pretty much what we are as Americans now. We work to pay our bills.
Yeah. So
that's it. We're not living a life.
Yeah.
Most of us.
Or to afford the drugs that we need to go to work to do some more stuff. Like, oh, my back hurts, so maybe you should take some time off. Nah, just take these drugs. Go make some more money to take these back drugs or whatever. I don't know.
Let's get back to music.
I'm sorry.
Give me this sword. I'm gonna fuck some shit
I
up.
saw that when I walked in. It's wakizashi.
Yeah, my dad got it in Japan in the 80s, and he gave it to me, and so it's like it's not sharp or anything. It's like a ceremonial show sword or whatever.
Yeah, so like the full length one, the katana, the middle one's the wakizashi. I'm actually a quarter Japanese. It's just
Jesus Christ. Glad I had you on.
I appreciate you having me on.
Are you real? Are you an alien? Are you a real person?
I'm real. Yeah.
Are you single?
I have a girlfriend. I've had a girlfriend for about 1.5 years now.
Oh, cool.
Before that, I was just perpetually single. I didn't really find anybody that I would want to settle for.
You didn't find anybody smart enough. That's what it was.
She's amazing. Morgan, I love you.
Oh.
Yeah. She actually, right before I got on here, she didn't know that I was coming on this. I told her, but she's started a new job too. So she's kind of frazzled. She's like, "Oh, that's today. That's what you're doing." I'm like, "Well, send me a link to it and I'll watch it." I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be live. I didn't want to promote it, and I don't know if I was supposed to.
Yeah, no, I don't do it live.
Yeah, I figured. So.
I just record it, and then I'll get it released at some point. Do you have any music released?
I don't have anything recorded, no. So I've only really got 2 songs that are originals right now. Man, when I started doing this, I was just doing for covers, and then Brandon Smith and I wrote a song, and then I wrote another one on my own, and that's pretty much it. I don't have time these days, man. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm playing music. Sunday, I'm recovering. Monday, I'm doing either safety or my tax stuff or whatever I'm doing to hustle for the real stuff, and it starts back over again Thursday. It's just, I'm a little bit bowed up with it, but Brandon and I wrote a song called Raleigh, and he released it on his album. A lot more upbeat and stuff. It's more of a sad song the way I play it though, so I really want to record that one. I actually was supposed to go with Don Vickers over the holidays, but it's been pretty hectic. But I was supposed to go to Don Vickers' place and just do a real rough acoustic. Let me play it, and then him play a little lead on his acoustic with it. That was all I was going to do. But
you live close to here?
I'm in Kingwood, so not too bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a buddy right here in Spring that I do all my recording with, and
okay.
I love it. It's like, I don't know.
What's his name? Can you plug
His
him?
name is Josh David Walker. He used to be 150 Music Studios, but now he's going just more of his own name, Josh David Walker. And so he's like he produces a lot of stuff for people here in town. He's co-produced everything. Like, he's more of an engineer for my stuff. He definitely throws his tidbits in there. He definitely produces it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty. I mean, obviously, can tell I'm pretty opinionated, and so I'm pretty
Really?
opinionated in that process as well. I don't like to give up too much control of my music.
That's a good thing to have. I've only been in the studio a few times. I went with Brandon to do his album in Dripping Springs at the Zone, and that was just a fun time. I was just kind of tagging along at the time still, and that was really cool. So it was a cool experience. And I've been into Stormy's place, Stormy Cooper.
Yeah.
Recorded some stuff with Brandon too, and it's fun. It's always a fun experience there. It's always so cool and laid back. But when we're writing some of the songs of Brandon's stuff, like he was open. Like, anybody wants to help produce, I don't know how this should go. And we had my buddy who plays drums for me, who plays bass for him, played bass for him, just throwing out ideas, and we are all just maybe it should go this way on the album and stuff, and just kind of he performed them all the time on stage, just acoustic, but him recording it to make it whatever. It was really fun to just produce. I guess it was really cool too.
Yeah.
I could see me doing that. Maybe it should go like this or a little up here. I don't know.
I used to hate the studio, dude. It was so it was just so intimidating to me. Trying to lay down a acoustic track to a click track and I would be like all stressed out, and I could never get it down. And but now, I mean, years later, I've been recording forever, but now years later, dude, it's like it's another one of my happy places. I love going in there.
Yeah, just the voice recording part, just can't hear anything but your voice exactly how you want it, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is weird because now I'm starting to outsource a lot of the tracks. Like I'll outsource drums to Walter Cross, and I'll outsource like fiddle or some lead stuff or background vocals to Josh Masters, and it's weird because I'm not in the room when they're doing it.
Yeah,
and they just send me the stuff, and then I'll have to be like, okay, I like that, or I don't like this,
sure,
and I'll send it back to them. It's definitely better when you could be in the studio with them, because then it's like, no, do this.
Yeah.
But it's also financially, it's just way more efficient.
Yes,
just send him 4 songs, send Walter 4 songs, be like, I need drums on all these, and he'll lay them down, send them back, and we'll take them to the studio.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, okay. But the cool thing also now is with Pro Tools or Logic or whatever you use, you can move kick drums.
You could just do, as long as you got one good little sample of it. I mean, I saw the engineer doing that in the studio. I was like, what are you doing? He's just clicking so fast as I can type, which is pretty quick. And
yeah,
he's
it's
just
insane.
Inserting stuff. Like, well, I like this one snare tap that I had. I'm using it for the whole time. I'm like, that's crazy.
Watching Josh work on we use Logic is what we use, and watching him work, dude, it's like to me it's like watching a surgeon. It's like watching somebody that's like so specific. It's amazing, man. And Josh, I love you, Josh. Josh is amazing at it. And I had a really, really cool experience. I got to go to Nashville 2-3 weeks ago, and I got to record in Jamie Johnson's personal studio.
Oh, that's
fancy. TW, the engineer. So it was produced. The song was produced by Jimmy Melton, which has been producing music in Nashville for years and years and years. Such a cool dude. Had so many cool stories. And TW is like this big dude. He's like probably 6'6", 6'7", 350, just a big boy.
Sure.
Like Hodor, you know what I mean? But man, like watching him on that console, and it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Just
boom,
do it so many times and know what they're listening for, and it's crazy. Yeah,
it's insane. But I guess it's no different than anything else that you do on a repeated basis like that.
So playing guitar is about the same way too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not very good at it, so everything for me is muscle memory.
Yeah, same. Like the one of the band was not the band. One person in the band was trying to get us to go like half step on stuff, which I don't like for a lot of reasons, but whatever. And I tried it, and it was completely different. Everything was different because my voice was a half step down. I'm muscle memoried so much that my voice matches that. I can change keys and stuff, cool, but it just felt unnatural.
So the band wanted you to go down half step? That's weird.
My drummer wanted me to go down half step. It's just easier on the voice. It was mostly during like acoustic type stuff.
But why does he care? He's not singing?
Save your voice. It's easier.
Like I play everything down half step, but I always adjust to what's most comfortable with my voice.
Sure.
But I start everything else down half step, and I don't care for I get a lot of shit for that from some of these.
Do what you want. I mean, like there's tons of amazing songs that are written in half step. That's just how they're like. All Over You is, we'll try to sing that every now and then. It's written in half steps. So for me to do it, I have to sing an extra octave even higher than live does. And it's like, can you really do that? I'm like,
Yeah, all of my shit's recorded half step down.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's funny because there's so many fucking like snobs about shit.
I mean, I use a capo to no end. So it's like
capo, prime example, a capo.
It's just what I use.
I had some dipshit come up to a show to me one day, and I played wagon wheel, and I put the capo on the second fret.
That's where I do it too.
But I'm down half a step, and he comes up to me and goes, "Man, you didn't play that song right. The capo's supposed to be on the whatever fret." And I was like, "Dude,
You want to come show me how?"
I'm like, that's why you're fucking on that side of the stage, and that's why I'm up here. Like,
That's insane.
but dude, the worst are beer snob, the craft beer snobs.
I hate that.
Golly, dude, I want to grab them by the fucking throat.
I got into it back early, 2011, St. Arnold's when I first moved to Houston area from the Beaumont areas where I lived, and it was fun. It was cool to go to the craft scene. It was good, and then it just got all over the place, and everybody's like, "Oh, is that not this one that hops or from this place?" Or I'm like, "What? What does it matter? It tastes good." So I went back to Shiner.
I'll be sitting there. I like the fact that there's so many different craft beers.
Oh, it's
That's
awesome,
fucking cool. And go find it and go explore and go do your thing.
Sure.
But man, shut the fuck up about it. Shut up about that. Shut up about your fucking.
Well, that's anything, diet, vegan or keto or CrossFit.
Or Apple or iPhone or Mac or
Harleys or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
People of a feather are going to flock together.
but it's when you get snobby about it, where you're like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Well, it's just about anybody, I think. Not anybody. It's just about any particular group can have those people in it, I guess.
I don't care that you like your beer with roasted monkey nuts and coconut shaved leopard skin.
There's going to be the Google AI is listening right now. Is like, hey, that sounds like a good beer. We're gonna make that happen somehow. Call it Chunky Monkey or something. And
Well, I can tell you this right now. There's never, ever, ever in the history of beers been a beer that I just love.
yeah,
No. It all tastes like shit to me.
I feel that. I used to feel the same way. There's a few of the barrel aged stuff that's been soaking in bourbon barrels and stuff to where it's real sweet and dark and strong. It's like sipping a bourbon, and that's.
I don't like bourbon either.
Well, I mean, okay, well, it's delicious, but I understand what you're saying.
I like Irish whiskeys.
Okay.
There's no sweetness in Irish whiskeys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like the sweet stuff, but there's probably some out there that if you still drank would have that appeal, but
Yeah, I've just never really had a beer that I like. I mean, I drink a lot of beer. I've had a lot of beer. Yeah. I'd say out of all of them, Dos Equis is probably my favorite.
Yeah,
or Lone Star.
Some Mexican lager is pretty easy. Yeah.
I like Lone Star too. But I think Bud Light, Miller Light,
it's just
Coors Light. I think that's
so watery.
Yeah, it tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And then anytime I get I play a brewery.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Hey, you want a beer?" And I'm like, "Not really." And then we'll try this, and they'll give me one of their brewed light beers, and it's like, this fucking is terrible. And I'm sure people like it. To me,
yeah,
it's terrible.
And some people can take that criticism too, like, "Hey, it's just not for me," whatever. Yeah. Some people can't.
That's with everything.
With
music,
there you go.
Music, food, everything is so subjective, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate the hardcore stance, folks.
It's hard to take that stance now. In my older age, I've learned that. I used to be pretty hardcore in my beliefs, and it's until you experience it or see the other side of it, and it's like, okay, I see what you're talking about there.
I mean, there's a few things that I'm still hardcore, like being able to sing live. I think if you're not a live musician, you shouldn't play live. I mean, if you're a good songwriter or creator or whatever,
yeah,
and you're good and you want to go into a studio and you want to release a record,
and not do okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
If you can't, sing,
if you can go in there and record a badass, awesome, song or two or album, but you can't go play it.
If you can't sing in key
without 50 takes.
Oh, dude, I caused a whole fucking shitstorm on social media the other day because I said something about I said, I wish the fact checkers would come over to music. And so that way the people that can't sing live, there would be warning labels on their thing that say maybe shittier in person.
See, this is the part where I wish you'd start name dropping and stuff like who, what's his name? What's her name? What's their names?
Well, what caused me to do that was the whole Morgan Wallen Hardy CMA Joe Diffie song. I don't know if you've heard that or not.
I don't watch anything.
I don't watch it either. I got ear raped with it.
Oh yeah.
And it's so bad. It's so brutal, bro. It's so Hardy and Morgan Wallen it's like high school karaoke, off key, drunken shit. Jesus. And the only thing that saved the performance was Post Malone came out and killed it.
Man, it's amazing.
And so, anyway, I posted that, and then of course under that you got people start getting on and commenting, and there was this one drummer in town. I can't. What's his name? He plays with Los Carnales, and anyway, he just fucking started railing on me, and be like, Morgan Wallen's not talking shit about you. Why are you talking shit about Morgan Wallen?
Well, because he's never heard of me, probably.
Yeah, and actually, I wasn't talking shit about Morgan Wallen. I was talking about all singers that can't sing in key. But since you brought there, and I guess recently he had just worked with him on a tour.
Yeah.
And then he come out and he started talking shit about another musician, and that's when I called him out on it, and then he blocked me. And,
darn it.
The
loss.
Chopper. What's his name? Choppel? Brian Choppel? I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
I've had multiple of those run-ins in my days. It's just funny, man, because it's like I get such a huge positive response from my Facebook.
Man, I always see people loving you, and man, you got people asking for like how they can help and sponsor or do this and that. It's always been positive. That's
But even when I get negative, even when I'm real about something, not necessarily negative, but even when I'm just putting my opinion out there,
sure.
I get so much positive response from that.
Yeah.
But it's always the one or two fucking douche nipples.
Well, there's trolls everywhere.
They're not even trolls. They're I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know, whatever. Fuck it. It's social media. I put it out there. It doesn't bother me. I don't get mad about it. I don't get upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, I think the last thing I really got upset about was I posted a post, and a friend of mine that I felt we were really good friends took offense to it and thought that I was making the post about her. And that kind of really upset me. I mean, we're all right now, but it was that really upset me because, I don't ever have a particular person in mind when I make a post most of the time,
Sure.
Unless it's like that Morgan Wallen shit.
Yeah, but that was still a generalization
like another one, another friend of mine, and we've talked about it since, and we're friends again, and everything's okay. Yeah. But I posted that post about the half-ass musician Halloween costume with the iPad clip and all that shit, and he didn't say anything to me. He just went away. And then I recently reached out to him for something, and he like, man, I got to tell you that really upset me. And I was like, dude, like, first of all, I'm sorry to upset you, but
it's a joke.
You can't be. And I told him, dude, I literally told him on the phone. I was like, listen, bro, like, if you look at everything through a victim's lens, you're going to view everything as an attack.
Absolutely.
And you can't do that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like I said, we're good, and I love the dude, and I'm not talking shit about him at all.
Yeah.
It's just, it's funny what people take
personally for no reason. Yeah, I mean, clearly you meant that as a joke.
100%. I do it,
and there's some funny merit. I do the same shit too. And people, posted that, and I can't remember. They were like posting it with like hatred in their voice about, I hate these people that do this. I'm like, you've never done that before? Well, that's awesome for you, but not everybody's like that. So why be pissy about it? Why have such a strong stance about somebody putting their iPad on their thing? We talked about it earlier about, I agree, it probably shouldn't happen on a full band, certainly not your own songs, but if you're just picking and grinning at some local bar, or song swapping or something, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
You definitely should not do it on a song swap.
Yeah, what's that?
You should definitely not do it on a song swap.
What's that? Oh,
use your iPad. Oh, like, why would you? I mean, I don't understand that.
I guess not to look for words. More so, I use mine mostly just to look at what song choices I have. I have my master list of songs. I'm like, well, go good with that next guy, I guess, is more so what I mean than looking at lyrics. I agree. I just meant more so looking at what song would complement his song next, I guess.
Oh, really? I don't know, man. I just think. Let's talk about song swaps. Let's talk about it.
Fucking here we go.
Let's talk about it. So I used to hate them. And the reason I used to hate them is very simple, because I'm a kind of guy that I like to get the crowd in the palm of my hand.
Sure.
And I don't want to release that.
I got you. Yeah.
And if the guy that's going next can't keep that energy, then I got to start all over again when it gets back to my turn.
I get that.
That's why I hated it before.
Sure.
But now that I'm higher up on the rung, the latter.
Yeah.
And I'm doing song swaps with,
Talented people.
no,
But
not necessarily talented, but just the more experienced, higher up in the.
sure.
They're more about the original music. They're more
okay.
doing this for like a pushing a brand or pushing a career.
Sure.
So they care more about what they're doing. Is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
And so, and the crowds, because you're playing with these people, the crowds are obviously more about music than what they are if you're just playing at Flying Pug. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's some etiquette. There's song swap etiquette.
Absolutely.
And I've played some song swaps recently that people don't do that etiquette. And here's one. When you're on a song swap, you don't get off stage.
Yeah.
Unless you got to pee. If you got to run and pee, you just say, hey, I'm going to go pee real quick. And you go out there. You don't talk to anybody. You run to the bathroom and you come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is why you don't talk to anybody. You don't talk to anybody because would you want people talking while you're playing a song?
I mean, you're literally the artist there playing also.
Dude,
so
I played one recently, bro, and this person kept getting off the stage
Yeah.
and going out and talking with all her friends while the other three of us were on stage.
That's just, I mean.
And then to top that off, sometimes they were late getting back on stage and would get mad if the first person would skip them.
No. See, that's just unacceptable.
So, that's the, also, if you're playing a song swap, I'm playing a song. It's going to be 3 minutes, 2.5, 3 to 4 minutes. You have that amount of time to think about what song you're going to play next.
Yeah. It's plenty of time.
You should not be looking up fucking lyrics after I'm playing. Do that shit while I'm playing my song.
Tuning. I mean, you can tune. Most of the time, you can tune while you're playing too. As long as it's not distracting to you and stuff. Little things like that too.
Sundance jumped my ass one day about that.
It can be annoying. That's why I usually turn to the side. I hate to avoid the wedge. Feeding back to get the actual tuning, but so that I don't disturb them too. But what did Sundance say? That's fine.
So I was playing a song swap with him at Bareback, and I don't remember who all was on it. And I was tuning, and Sundance was like, "Well, I'm gonna start playing this song as soon as Jeff Candle stop fucking tuning." And I was like, "Oh shit, my bad, bro. I wouldn't even think about it." I mean, he was laughing. He was obviously we have that relationship where we can bust each other's balls, and it's fine. But it was funny.
Still merit there.
And I was like, "Oh, 100%." And a lot of things you don't know till you don't know. But
absolutely.
But I can promise you, if you don't know some of these things at this point, you're curious because you're one of those people that it's all about you and you don't listen.
Or you're just oblivious to people pointing it out, or
you
don't know what you're talking about. But yeah. I met Sundance one time. Before I started playing, I was just doing karaoke. I got, that's how I figured out I could actually sing a little bit. And I was at some bar in like Porter, Texas, right next to Kingwood, and he was playing. Had no idea who he was, and I was just sitting there watching, listening. He's really good. And he was doing Seminole Wind, and it came to the second verse, and he's like, he just kept playing, but he's like, fuck, I don't remember the words. Hey, does anybody know the words? And I was right there, and I actually sang on stage with him, which is just
cool.
It was really cool in retrospect. I didn't know for like 5 years. I saw a picture. I'm like, hey, Brandon, that's Sundance. Like, this is me singing on stage with him. He's like, holy shit, that is him.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
I had no idea.
Oh, dude, he's nothing
but nice. It was fun too. Yeah.
It's funny because he's very opinionated, like I am.
I believe
when
it.
we hang out, like if we're off stage, it's really funny, dude. He's really opinionated, but he's also just one of the most down to earth, humble dudes, man. He's always like, man, you come over to my house and we need to write. He tells me that all the time, and I'm like, and I never do it, but every time I see him, he tells me that.
Yeah,
it's funny. He's a good dude, man. He's from the same area. We're the same age. He's from the same area I am, from over here in southeast. He went to New Caney. I went to Splendora.
Okay, cool. So you're familiar with the area then. You know where Porter is.
Oh yeah.
It was at the Red Bar, I think.
I don't know.
Well, that's where we were. We were at that like Red Bar with all the freaking dartboards, and it's red metal building or whatever. And he was playing there, and it was fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know anything that's over there really.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the area. I grew up there, but I haven't spent enough time on 59 since I moved out when I was 20.
Yeah.
I go to Splendora about once every 2 months, 3 months, whatever, see my dad or my brother.
Right.
Other than that, I don't get out there much.
It's same old, pretty much, I guess. I don't know. I've only been there in the area for like 10 years, so 12
years. A lot of Hispanics have moved in.
It's a lot there, yeah. Man, and Kingwood's getting overpopulated. Oh, excuse me. Porter's getting overpopulated too, man. It's just they're building new, more and more stuff. I guess it's everywhere. 299 is going to be the new Beltway 8 in a few years, I'm sure. And
Well, you know that the biggest settlement of illegal immigrants is right there at Plum Grove Road, right there. So if you go now, it's right there. It butts right up to 99. You used to have to go down 1486 or whatever it is.
1485, yeah.
Yeah, 1485. You just have to go down there. My mom lived back there, and we sold her house, and I drove back there the day. And they just had like a few people murdered back there, and there's a lot of cartel stuff going on back there. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think Greg Abbott just sent in some folks in there to invest. There's apparently 70,000 illegal immigrants in that one little.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a city. I mean, not even a small town. That's
If you go back there, dude, it's crazy. It's
crazy.
I mean, it's like taquerias on every corner, and it's very weird. It's very. Yeah. It looks like. It's like Mexico back there. It's crazy. And I'm not saying anything racist about or anything.
It's just fact.
It's just is what it is. I mean,
I've been to Mexico a few times. I took a few wrong turns in Cabo the couple times I was there.
I've been to Cabo once. One time I went to Cabo.
I love it there. It's beautiful. It was mostly because it was a big Cabo Fest, and Krager's my whatever, and Fowler was really awesome to me too. Lord Loves a Drinking Man was like the first song that turned me on to country music. I was hungover at the river and heard that playing as I was dying. I was like, hey, you're talking about drinking. I like doing that, and it just lifted my spirits. Like in that downbeat on that stage, it's just like, I'm not hungover anymore. I'm ready to do this. Let's go. So
I love Kevin Fowler, dude. He's such a nice guy.
He's a very cool dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He's such a cool dude. I mean, every time I hang out with him, it's always been super, super fun. Always. Down to earth. It's just a nice guy.
Last time I was in Big Cabo Fest for that, it was right after COVID got done and everything closed down at 6 at a 24-hour resort. It was shitty, but I found ways to get his booze anyway because that's just what kind of I am. And we were out drinking, and Fowler was out there, Kevin was out there talking and stuff, and he knew that I had a band. He wasn't really sure, and we actually get to talking, and it's like, man, just keep plugging away, and you'll eventually get there. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm there, man. I love playing these little bars. This is it for me. If for some reason I screw up and get to play some big shows every now and then, awesome. But I love playing little local bars with everybody. It's just fun for me. Me too. It's beautiful. That's what I love doing. I'm sure it'd be cool to play some big ass festival with thousands of people screaming at you. I'm sure
it's fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely fun. But my favorite shows are like listening room, like Do-Si-Do.
Sure.
What I can
imagine
when you
playing
go in there
like
and
that.
you get a few hundred people in that room, it's just magic, dude. It's magic because they're all there to see you, and it's just that's the dream, man. That's the goal. That's what I want to do.
I could see that.
But I can give a fuck less if I ever play like stadiums or anything like that. I mean, if it happens, cool. I would love it. It'd be awesome.
I'm gonna say no,
but really, man, like my goal is I just want to play. I just really want to play listening rooms. That's really what I want to do.
That's my favorite kind of concert. I don't like big, huge concerts and trudging through people. I don't like going to them. I don't like.
Me too. Every time I think I want to go, I buy the ticket, and I'm down there, and I'm in it. And 15, 20 minutes into it, I'm like, I want to get the fuck out of here. And I usually end up going over to the bar and just sitting at the bar or sitting somewhere where it's there's not a lot of people.
Exactly. If you need fireworks and light shows, I'm not talking down on it, whatever, but if you need fireworks and light shows to get your your music across, then that's fine. But, you're right at Do-Si-Do, man. You can just sit there and just listen and see stuff. I've seen a couple people at Do-Si-Do. I keep hitting your shit.
Sorry.
At Do-Si-Do. Who did I see there? Oh, Prophets and Outlaws, man. They're one of my favorite bands.
Oh, they're great.
Man, they're so cool, down to earth. We talked probably an hour after the show where we were sitting there talking to. He's like, man, I know y'all got to get to download. I do this too. He's like, I know, but I enjoy this. This is fun. So I'm happy to talk to you. So, man, Matt Boggs is just one of the nicest dudes ever. When he sings, he is so inspirational. He's just smiling the whole time, effortlessly hitting those high notes and shit. I'm like, I don't know how he does it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
There's so many of those guys out there that do that. I'm just like, Candace tells me that when I sing, it looks effortless, and I'm like, that does not feel that way to me. It feels to me like I'm giving it everything I got.
I try to not make funny faces anymore purposefully, but when you're into it, you're just into it. You're gonna close your eyes and So I don't care that much anymore.
Yeah, I don't like singers that keep their eyes closed the whole time though.
Yeah,
like, you got to look at the audience.
Yes, absolutely. But if I'm into that part of the song and I'm
I do the same thing. Or sometimes I'm really tired. Dude, it happens. It happened on Sunday. I played a show on Sunday and I'm playing and there's nobody really in the bar. It's kind of a dead show, but I don't really ever look at it that way. I look at it as just a blessing that I get to be on stage. That's the way I look at it. But I was there and I was like closing my eyes, and the next thing you know, I'm like open my eyes up and the song's already over. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I think I fell asleep. I think I was sleep playing. I don't know. That's what's really funny is when you really get in
how muscle memory it is that you can just blank out.
That's what's hilarious is when you get to the point where it's same as driving. Have you ever, sometimes you'll drive and you're like, fuck, what the fuck happened the last 20 miles? I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Same thing with playing a show, dude.
I've done
Sometimes
it before,
I'll be or what's really funny is I'll know my guys will like be laughing and I'm like, what? And I fucking like repeated a verse or I didn't, or I skipped
I meant to do that. Keep up.
Yeah, or I skipped a verse. The other day I skipped Eris's solo completely. So then we went back around to it or whatever. And but we're the kind of band that whenever something like that happens, we all just laugh at each other.
Just ad lib it. You can. I love those instances when you quote unquote mess up. You skip a lyric or something like that. That's the fun parts of seeing shows to me because it's like, how well can you recover? How well can you make this funny? And usually those are the best moments for real entertainers to me. Yeah. I love that to no end. It's so much fun.
I agree, man.
Like he was supposed to say this right here, but you see how he just starts smiling right now? He's not smiling because he's happy. He's smiling because he knows he fucked up.
Yeah. But like listen, I don't care how you do it. Do it however you want to do it. Sure. Whatever gets your rocks off. Me personally.
Yeah.
This is a personal opinion. I'm not knocking anyone who does anything. But like playing to clicks and playing to that stuff and doing those things and like having regimented and being so tight and playing the song just like the album and playing the song, to me that's like I can't do that.
I don't like that either, man. I concur. It's got to come from here, man. There's a guy. God, I'm not going to drop names. There's a kid. He's not a kid. He's of age, but like 18 now. I've known him since he was a little kid. I played poker with his parents. He's had every guitar lesson and vocal lesson and everything. He can sing perfectly. I mean, on key, everything. But it's not entertaining, to no offense. I mean, I appreciate what he's doing, but it's not. There's no feeling. It's not art at that point. It's just math. I press here and it makes this sound, and I sing this way with my voice and vibrate it like that. It makes this. There's a merit to that too. I think you got to have that feeling. And it's not making your voice raspy. It's knowing that you believe that inside. Yeah. I think Johnny Cash was getting at that. Make me feel and believe what you're saying, and that's all you really need to. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I've had so many magical moments on stage because of a fuck up or because of because of a breakdown. I'll be like, hey guys, break it down, and the band will break it down because I'm looking at the crowd and I see something. I see some opportunity to mess with someone or something, and then we've adjusted songs where now when we play it live, that's how we play it because we came to something like
it just makes sense like that now. Yeah, we do that same shit too.
Yeah, like one night we were just playing a song and I was like I went over to the talkback mic and I was like, hey, double time, and we went into double time. We're like rocking balls, and then I just looked back at Dwayne, and he already knew that I wanted to go halftime, and we went halftime. And it was just like magic, dude. And that's also you have to, in order to do that, you have to have members that are not zoned out, that are in the moment with you.
They're enjoying it too. They want to be there. And
I've had guitar players that I've had to let go because they're closing their eyes. They're doing a solo. They're not watching they're not watching what's going on. Yeah. They're just over there playing and doing their own thing. They're not playing with the energy of the room. They're not playing with the energy of the band. And it's like, to me, the perfect band is the ones that get up there and just feed off each other, dude.
Yeah.
Just feed off each other. Sometimes, I shouldn't have to tell the guitar player, hey, bro, stop playing for a second and let the bass player, if we're broken down, it's like the guitar player just soloed for 4 bars or 8 bars or whatever, and then I'm looking over the bass player, hey, do something cool. But the guitar player's still going. And it's like, pay attention. Pay attention to what we got going on here.
We've been together long enough, and not even that long. It's only been a few years. So we've been together long enough. We just know what we're doing. Or if for some reason you can't look at their eyes, and we got just unspoken code we can do, and
that's the way we are too now.
I'm sure. But if you can't even take cues, though,
I was in a band one time. 3 amazing, James Langenbuck, bass player, big dude. I don't know if you know him or not. Mike Ned, as he was playing.
Mike Ned was playing
lead guitar, and Stevie Vance was playing drums.
Okay,
you're talking about 3 cats that are just great.
Yeah,
but they were so tight and so perfect on everything that regardless of
if there was no, hey, break it down,
No
there was
ad-libbing, it was
starts,
just
there was
this-
no stops. Like
yeah.
it was just like they were gonna start the song and stop the song exactly the same every time, and it was
if I wanted to hear an album, I'd listen to an album. I want
yeah,
some.
it was tough.
I want some fuck ups. I want some real. I want. Oh no, it's real. You know. I guess I don't know how to say it.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
want.
Live music should be live,
Yeah.
100%.
I love listening to live versions of studio stuff, or not studio stuff, but the live version's better than studio albums whenever I can. Like the Cross Canadian freaking
Yeah.
live at was it Billy Bob's or not Billy Bob's? Live at whatever it was, Anton's, I think. I don't know. Anyway, way better album to me than their studio stuff. Not that they're bad, but it's just
That's
get
what
the
I've been
feel-
told about my live album. That my live album blows my recorded stuff away.
Yeah.
which is cool. I'll take it
That's
because it's all live. There's
Yeah.
no. I mean, we didn't do any tricks or gimmicks. It's all.
it's beautiful. Like this is how we play on stage. And this is how it translated. Come see my show. That's
But with all that said, listen. With all that said, do you?
Oh,
do what
absolutely.
you do.
I'm not
I mean, listen.
getting down, whatever.
Chad Cook Band plays the tracks, and they put on a phenomenal fucking show.
Yeah.
They're so entertaining, dude.
Sure.
They do like choreography and shit, which normally I would be like, dude, that's cheesy as fuck. But those guys do it so well. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I love those dudes, and I just like watching them play. I love watching them play.
I've never seen them play. Unfortunately, I met them all once.
They're
but-
so fun, man. They're just such a fun, goofy band.
Yeah.
Would I do it that way? No, but that's what makes this whole thing fucking wonderful.
Exactly. Yeah. The different aspects of it. Yeah.
Yeah, if everybody did the same thing, we'd all, we need less copycats, dude. Stop copying people. Do your own thing. Figure out the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
Come up with the way, what's good for you. And that's how there's no right or wrong way to do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
There's some wrong things to do for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Like get off the stage and the song swap. But like, there's definitely wrong things to do.
I feel like you're attacking me because one of the last shows I did, I was off stage a little more often. I was going to pee real fast because I drank quite a bit that day and night. But it was just that. But I was off stage more than I normally would be. It was 30 seconds there and back kind of
Well,
thing.
it's
but
more just the distraction.
Distraction. I
Right.
understand.
That's
I
really
know.
what it
I know where
is.
you're coming from. I was like, you're attacking me, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Because you totally knew about that one
Oh,
show that
I
I
can
played.
guarantee you there's going to be one of my musician buddies is going to
Yeah.
hear this and think I'm talking about them. I can guarantee you. And you know what?
Fuck it.
Yeah, that's if you feel that guilty about it, then
Maybe I'm not the issue.
yeah.
Maybe it's them, but yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I met Chad Cook Band one time. I was playing the Barn Whiskey Bar. I think I was with Brandon still, but I was playing that with him, I think. And then we were pretty much done or taking a break. And there's a group of dudes sitting there. And you know what musicians can just tell musicians. And I just went up like, all right, y'all are a band. Which one's a singer? I was like, hold on. And I pointed out what I thought everybody was. And I was like, who are you guys? Like, we're Chad Cook. I'm Chad Cook. This is Chad Cook Band. Like, they just got done playing like Anahuac Gator
Oh,
Fest or
cool.
something like that. And that's so it was kind of on the way back. And it's like, dude, you can just see that they were. They're nothing but cool dudes. It was all fucking.
So, dude, they're so cool.
That's
I
the only time
love
I've met them.
Chad.
But yeah, I'm sure they're amazing on stage. I'd like to go see them. When do I have the time to go see concerts now that I'm doing?
Yeah.
I hate that's the only thing I hate about music. The only thing I hate about putting on music is that you don't get to see the shows.
Well, you got to
all.
you got to get into the original scene. You
Yeah.
know, once you break into the original scene and you get to start getting on festival and you get to start doing song swaps, that's in opening spots or
Yeah.
or you're headlining and you got an opener and you really start to see those guys in
Sure.
and it's cool to me, man. Like
I can't
I love
wait.
being at festivals and like hanging out with it when you got cool musicians.
Yeah.
We recently did the one out in Montgomery, and it was us, Low Down Drifters, Hoosier Brothers, Jason Allen. I can't remember. Josh Ward.
Okay.
Josh Ward headlined. Jason Casti, I think. Yeah, Jason was on there. And
Okay.
man, all the bands were just hanging backstage.
Yeah, I mean
All just cutting up and just having a great time, dude. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And that to me is way cooler than going at like paying money to go see a band.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
get that. Yeah. I just wish I could do it. I need to start making myself take off more time. I've been doing
Just
pretty
do
good
like once a
booking.
month. Like,
Yeah, that's what I need to start doing.
Pick a date a month. I'm sure your girl would appreciate it too.
She's always working weekends. She's a bartender basically
Oh, okay.
at Stampede Houston. So
Oh,
she's,
cool.
she's like the head bartender there. She's was going to GM position in a new bar in Crosby, but I think she's just going to step back and just be bartender.
Well, tell her she's got to take a day a month off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're gonna use that night to go out and see a fucking concert and go home and fuck like a rabbit.
I mean, yeah.
Don't tell her I told you that, but I'm a bad influence.
We'll see if she actually pulls it up and watches it. She says once it's out, let me know. So we'll see. But I think she will. I think she'll watch it. So, yes, we should though. We've planned on it before. It's just time, man. It always gets away from you. You plan stuff and then something comes up, and
oh, dude, I get
you know
it.
how life is.
I mean, me and my girlfriend talk about it all the time. You know, listen, I'm so madly in love with her, dude. And
Candace is so nice,
dude. I want to spend the rest of my life with her, and we have a great relationship. You know, but there's just a lot of times when we're not together because of, you know, either her job or my job or her kid or my kid or whatever the case may be, and that kind of sucks too.
Yeah,
which goes back to the frustrating part what we were talking about earlier about where the economy is. You know, I would love to be able to take one night a month off or 2 nights a month off. You know, if I could do like one weekend a month off and just spend it with them, dude, that would be. I mean, that would be life changing. Yeah,
it's to where that point is too. I basically was just doing music. It's just fun. You know, I was getting paid because it's just etiquette and all that stuff. But like after the last few months, I need this money. I'm relying on it. I took off like June and July or July and August or something like that because it's so fucking hot. I'm like, I'm too old to be getting out in this shit and being in this heat doing this stuff. And you know, I took a little dive financially. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't realize how much I rely on it now. Yeah. Because before it was just, you know, extra play money. I was going out and drinking money or whatever the hell. So like, the economy sucks right now, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's terrible.
You know what? I didn't realize I relied so much on is tip money, because like festivals, you don't get tipped.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get tipped on pretty much on all original shows. You're not gonna get tipped. I mean, you might get $20 or something.
Even full band shows, you don't get tipped too much. It's just a different stigma. I've tried to figure that out. Somebody posed that question on Facebook. Like, why do people tip solo artists more than they tip bands? Like, there's a whole band.
Well, that's easy because it's more intimate. It's more intimate.
Yeah,
and
of course.
It's more.
That's what I posed.
And you can, you can. It's easier. It's much easier to say, "Hey, solo guy played blah blah blah,"
than the band,
and you rip it out, and you're going to get a tip for that. And it is
sure.
Stop a band show to change.
Yeah. And yeah, that's so. Yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, man.
No. That's totally. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm dealing with now. It's like I'm playing a lot of shows where I'm only playing for like, I'm getting like $500 to play for only an hour, but I'm not making any tips. But I'm also making $500 to play for 3 hours.
Exactly.
But I'm
making tips. So
$100, $200 in tips every night, and so. Whenever I'm not playing those shows, I can really tell
the difference. Yeah.
Fuck, where's all my cash at?
I get that, and that's
But the good thing you get whenever you start doing the real things, you get merch. And merch, like I did like over $1,100 last week in merch.
That's incredible. We when we first made the band, I had all the money to do merch, and we did quite a bit. We did like sold out of it real quick. It just it's an extra element that I had to take care of, and I'm already booking and helping set up, and it's like really need somebody for that. There's those growing pains that you have from, solo to band, okay, and then like band to having somebody to help you set up and all that shit. Those growing pains are real, I know you probably set up your own shows still, but
I do everything.
Yeah, but it's tough, but you're probably only a cusp away from having people do that for you kind of things. That's as big as I ever said I wanted to make it. So we don't have to fucking load and unload anymore.
Dude, let me tell you, on the full band shows, my crew, they pretty much do everything almost. Like they get everything ready to go. They know their jobs. They get everything ready to go. I set up my pedal board, I set up my microphone, and then I disappear. But then after the show, I don't touch a fucking thing. I get off the stage, I go straight to the merch booth, hang out, kiss babies, sign.
Politicking is what you got to do.
Yeah, and then they tear everything down. And it took me a while to get used to it because I have been such a control freak, and I had to like make sure everything.
Yeah. And you want to help them too. You don't want to make them feel like you're not helping, but you have to get out there and do that. That's absolutely what you're there. That's how you get the more shows, and
Yeah, for sure. But now it's like. But like merch, I order my own merch. I have inventory my own merch. At smaller shows, I sell my own merch, and that's hard too. I actually just now ordered 1,000 little plastic baggies, so I can stuff shirts in there and tag them.
Yeah,
so much that easier. Way I can just do this because it's a little bit. I'm losing a little bit of money doing that, but man, it's gonna save because like I played a show the other night. Just a solo show, just me by myself, and there was people like wanting stuff, and so I'm trying to talk and get to know people there, but I'm also having to dig through fucking piles of shirts to find the one that they want.
Yeah, you can't have that. I get that. man. I've seen a lot of different merch setups, and I'm like, none of them seem to be ideal, perfect. You know, they all seem like they're struggling to look for something. It seems like there's got to be a better way to do that somehow for us.
I think it just depends. I think I've seen some camps that have, like Josh Ward's camp, she has her shit down, but he has she does everything. She runs the whole thing when it comes to merch.
It's
like
damn near what it takes for somebody. That's what you really need.
I mean, she'll swat Josh's hand. Like, it's funny. And her name's Kayla. She's a sweetheart. And some bands have it down. I'm an efficiency guy, right? Like that's what I did when I worked in NOV. I was an efficiency person, and so I try to find the most efficient way to do things. And so I'm constantly changing up how things are.
Sure. And that's what you got to be ever evolving, you know. And I guess if you find the perfect way, you don't have to be ever.
Well, what I want to do now, and I'm going to get with my merch person. I'm going to see if there's a way that they can make me small replica T-shirts.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Because what I want to do, not for the bigger shows. The bigger shows will obviously
you need that
because I have the mannequins and all that shit. We hang up on the grid.
But for the solo and shit,
But for the little show, I just have like a little suitcase, pop it up, like glue them in there or something. Like pop it up.
That's pretty cute. That'd be nifty.
They're all there, and I can have my Venmo. I can have everything in there, all ready to go.
Simple to
You know what I mean?
No, that'd be perfect. Like one little pop-up case that has the display, and then another case that has all the merch in it, clearly picked out. I dig that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna talk to him about that. See if put them on like Barbie dolls or Ken dolls or something.
Right.
Glue 'em.
You know, another way is just online completely. You know, that way you don't have to keep a stock, but then people want to hold it. Then
Yeah, you
so
won't
it doesn't
sell
work.
'em.
It doesn't work that way. You know,
Dude, I tell people
it'd be so much easier.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, go to my website, and then they never do.
Yeah,
And they never do. They never go to the website and buy the merch.
it's the
I sell maybe a shirt a month online.
yeah.
Maybe.
It's that urgency close that.
Yeah, they want it then.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that too. It'd just be so much easier if they would just.
And a lot of them want you to sign it and
Oh, of course.
that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
Which is also, that's something else weird, like fucking autograph. Like Candace told me, you need to refine your autograph. I'm like, you need to shut up. Like, I don't need to refine shit. Like, you have to sign those motherfuckers. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't suck. It's awesome. It's like such a blessing to.
It is. Yeah. I've
You know
only
what I mean?
I've only been asked like 3 or 4 times, maybe a half a dozen or so. I don't know, whatever. But every time for me because it's still new and
It's
stuff.
every one of them. It's such an honor, and me. I want to get to know the fan, and I try to talk to the fans, and I really do.
Yeah.
But it's like, the actual art, the actual action of signing stuff sucks. It's just because you got to get like the right way, and if you're in a t-shirt, and if you got a brand new Sharpie and it's too pointy, it sticks to the shirt, and if you like, there's just so many like cluster fucks about that situation.
There's so many moving parts to everything that we do that people don't see. It's incredible. Like, and I mean, you've been into this more longer, and you see more things than I do. But there's so many fucking moving parts to this that, a cable mess up. Okay, we'll just switch it out. It's not as simple as that sometimes. It's a pain in the fucking ass, and it can get in your head too. You're like, you get that mental stuff too going on too. That's just the worst.
Yeah, and everything on our stage, because everything is proprietary, has a different fucking power supply. So if one of them goes out, you're fucked. Yeah. So you better have a backup, which means you have to have 15 backup power supplies.
Yeah, which is like 3 or 4 extra merch gig boxes.
It's insane. I mean, if everybody would just go universal power supplies, like why can't you do that? Why can't it either be whatever? Make everything the little plug-in that goes on the back of a computer, whatever that cable's called.
I don't know. I was trying to think what they call it too. It's a
PIC cable or something like that. I don't know what it's called.
That sounds right.
I think it's got a C in it and a P.
That sounds right.
But I don't know. But yeah, it's like, why not just make everything that, put the transformer inside the box and let's go about our day.
I think it is PIC. It's something interface cable.
But then
power interface cable sounds right. So I think it's PIC. I think you're right.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I just remembered that.
I'm
a little high. Whatever. Not that bad.
Yeah, it's that's definitely there's a lot of like little things. That you don't. And then if something's not working, you got to troubleshoot, and it's like, is it the channel? Is it the cable? Is it my guitar? Is it the microphone? Is it the battery? Like, what's going on here? And you gotta.
and having to, okay, no problem, we can guess and check, but you got to mute this or that. And I love that I use the Behringer X-Air system for everything, and it's great, the iPad. But if it takes a second to load, or it crashes or anything like that, there's no knobs to turn. You're just screwed.
Yeah, I recommend everyone to stay completely away from anything that doesn't have its own controls on board.
I see the merit in it 100%. I just like the X32s have a possibility to control everything. It's just way harder, but yes, those big
X32s, yeah. Yeah, the Behringer things, everybody likes them. I think they sound like crap. I think the components in there, everybody's like, well, but it's the same thing as Midas. No, it's the same engineering as Midas.
Same concept.
It's all cheap Chinese components.
Yeah.
But listen, when it comes to that, I've played years and years and years with 2 Yamaha Club Series carpeted wedges,
not
with
even
a
powered,
fucking PV powered
like
head.
like passive speakers and all that stuff. Yeah,
with a PV powered head. I mean, you can make anything sound good.
Absolutely.
But to me, it's all about the bass line. Like take a SM58, right? Everybody says the industry standard mic. I think that's why the industry sucks, because that microphone sucks. But yes, you can get a 58 to sound good. You can, absolutely. I've done it. I can do it.
Yeah.
The problem is you have to doctor it so much to get it to sound good.
What do you use?
I use a Telefunken M80 is what I use. And my microphone, if you put that fucking thing in there and you just plug it in, it already sounds good completely flat.
Yeah.
And then you just tweak little things.
I use the A35 Sennheiser.
Same thing. That's the difference. But everybody wants to talk about guitars, and a $600 guitar sounds just good as you can get a $600 guitar to sound good.
Yeah,
you can.
but
when I plug in my guitar, into any system, the bass line is just going to sound good.
Absolutely.
And you just tweak it.
Yeah.
There's so many times where I've run sound for song swaps and stuff, and people bring out these shitty guitars, and it's like it's just like, golly. Yes, I can get it to sound good, but I don't want to.
Right.
I want to be able to unmute and let's go. Let's roll.
Yeah.
But also, people, people have different priorities.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm not knocking anybody for what they do. I feel like I have to say that a lot.
I'm the same way. I'm just with respect, or I apologize for saying this, but we probably should get out of that, to be honest. I'm
getting better about it for sure.
Because we're not giving opinions that are either unsolicited necessarily, or are rude or malicious in any way. It's stuff that people either want to hear or that they may not want to hear, that will absolutely help them. And if you don't want to take the advice, cool. Don't. But hear me for a second. You don't like it? Okay, no problem.
Yeah, and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But what you don't do, please don't do this. Don't go out and buy a Harbinger speaker and a
Mitchell guitar.
A Mitchell guitar and a
which sound good in a pinch, by the way. If you have nothing in a pinch,
right? But let me complete this thought.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Don't go out and buy a Harbinger speaker and a Mitchell guitar and then an SM58 on a $30 microphone stand, and don't go buy those things and not be looking to upgrade as soon. Don't get complacent with that shit.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you have to start where you got to start. I mean, if you have, say you have $1,000 your opening budget. I want to start playing music. I have $1,000. Okay, well, there's stuff out there you can do to do that.
Sure,
100%. You can buy a speaker for $150, $200. You can, but what you need to do is save all your tips, and as soon as you get, upgrade that $200 speaker to a $500 speaker.
Yeah.
And then sell that $150 speaker to somebody for $75. Put it in your kitty.
Keep doing the same thing.
Keep doing the same thing until you get to the equipment that you.
Thankfully, when I started this, I didn't have that issue. I was still making good money. I just whatever, and I bought all pretty much good stuff other than the Behringer, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, dude, listen. I started out bottom.
But all EV stuff, all brand new, all the Bluetooth and everything, and so it was pretty nice for that. And it's lasted this long. It still sounds great. So,
I started at the very bottom, dude. I mean, when I started playing music, I started with it was a black Epiphone guitar, and it was like $99 Epiphone.
I mean,
it was not great. I got a couple recordings on that thing, live recordings. And it's terrible.
Isn't it fun to look back at your first stuff? And
God!
I mean, that was so long ago for you. For me, it's only a few years ago. Listening to 2016 recordings of myself, downstroke quarter notes.
Yeah.
Singing off key. And
I'm just saying, don't lie to yourself that
Exactly,
your
yeah.
shit is as good as somebody else's who's invested thousands of dollars in their stuff, because it's
Absolutely,
not.
it's not.
It's not.
yeah, I have a Taylor T5 that I rarely play anymore. And what I start out with my Martin Triple Lot CXC, like a $700 guitar, and I pretty much play the Martin exclusively now. I love the way it plays. I've customized it and everything, but there are differences in the pickups, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've got it dialed in my system and everything perfectly how it needs to sound. So it is just unmute. But if I was to bring it somewhere else, you would have that same issue of trying to dial in the tone and all that stuff. I see that. So I completely agree with you. Play
if you have a Taylor guitar other than the T5 or the Mini, the GS Mini, if you have those two guitars, both of those guitars are going to come from the factory sounding pretty good.
Yeah.
If you have a Taylor guitar that is 2 series, 3 series, 4 series, 5 series, 6 series, 7 series, 8 series, and they have the Taylor expression system, it's going to sound like shit.
Yeah.
They sound like shit. And what's really funny is every sound guy that I've ever worked with, as soon as I pull my Taylor out, you can see it in their face. Oh, fuck. No sound guy that
Likes
knows
Taylors.
what they're doing wants to work with a fucking Taylor.
Yeah.
Now, I'm like
sense.
always, just listen to it first, because mine doesn't have Taylor pickups in it.
Okay.
It's the best sounding guitar I've ever played in my life. I love this guitar. I've had it for a long time.
What is it?
It's a Taylor 818.
Okay.
It was about a $4,300 guitar.
Fancy.
It's fancy guitar for sure, but I've had it for years, man.
Yeah. Is that what you pretty much normally plays the Taylor?
Well, I bought the Love Dove,
Okay.
and I paid $5,200 for the Love Dove back in 2021, and I sold it for $3,200
Okay.
with Randy Travis's signature on it.
Okay.
That guitar sounded like dog shit.
Really?
I could never ever get it to sound
Huh.
good. Not as good as the Taylor. Again,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I 100% get it, man. Like I hardly play the Taylor because it just doesn't stay in tune as well. It's so precise and everything.
Yeah, I don't like those T5s.
I'm not a big fan anymore.
I know people that play them, like Justin Pena fucking kills it on one of those things.
Yeah.
I know people that play them and love them. I personally can't play them.
I bought it because it looked cool.
Yeah.
but I love my Martin Triple Lot CXC. It's all black and it's just.
Yeah, I just bought a Martin for a backup, and it was about $700, $650, $700.
And they play pretty well, and
yeah, I've used it in a pinch.
Might need to upgrade at some point, but where I'm playing, it works, I guess.
Well, my problem with that one is the high E string does not pick up as well as the other 5 strings.
I think they've started putting different pickups in them still. They're all Fishman, but mine had the old school Fishman system in it that has like the brilliance you can change.
Yeah.
And changing that brilliance makes it really bright, livens up the high end of it.
Yeah, I think something's wrong with the pickup on it. I'm going to take it apart and
Yeah.
see what's going on inside there.
Hey, can I take a restroom break real fast? Is that,
Yeah,
is that
dude.
fun? Okay.
No, all balls.
All right, hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go pee. He's got to go tinkle. He's got to,
Been drinking Kool-Aid for the last hour and a half, 2 hours.
like, real Kool-Aid?
Yeah, it's just Kool-Aid.
People really drink Kool-Aid still?
I do.
I'm just going to sit here and talk shit while he's peeing.
You do it.
I'm sit here and play with my sword. I'm not going to edit this out. Play with my sword. Do I get blocked for having a weapon? I don't know. Do you get blocked for having a weapon on podcasts? Because I have swords and knives and guns all in this room. Actually, I have one sword, but I have a bunch of knives. And some guns. A lot of guns. And guitars. Oh, man. I can hear him peeing. I can hear it right now. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Can y'all hear him peeing? I'll have to listen. I can edit that out. Maybe I'll edit all this out. Or maybe I'll leave it in. I don't know. What do y'all think? Good talk. Sure. All right. It's hot in here.
Probably just waiting there attentively wanting to come in.
How long have we been going?
I don't know. I just threw out an hour and a half, but it's almost going to be almost 2 hours now. Something like
Okay.
that.
It'll say it up there. I moved the board up there and now I can't see.
I'm all good now. We can go as long as you want now.
Well, I don't know how much longer I can go.
No, no, you're good. You're good.
I'm getting hot. It's hot in here. Is it hot in here?
It's definitely warming up. I wouldn't say I'm hot yet, but it's warming up for sure because
I need to close this vent here.
all these lights and everything.
Well, I closed the vent in my room so no heat goes in there. And then
but I didn't close this one, and I think the heat's on, and I can feel it.
I got you.
My asshole's sweating in this couch.
Well, I hope that wasn't my fault. It could be, but who's to say?
My asshole's wet. Damn.
I mean,
It's all Jeremy's fault.
one does what one can.
So, do you have any plans to get in the studio and record?
Like I said, I was supposed to get it with Don Vickers pretty soon. Just record the Raleigh, just a rough acoustic version, like what I want. And I really want to get, like we've talked about with the band, just doing finding somewhere that'll have us as a 90-minute set and just play all our originals, and then have just a live recording of that kind of done would be kind of cool. So that's where we're kind of where we're at right now. It's not that I don't have ambitions to do it bigger. It's just the economy hit and all this stuff. Like it's a hard hit. Like just staying afloat, much less trying to think of future stuff. And
Yeah, dude, I got so many songs I need to record. I mean, I've got
bet.
6 new songs that I think are gonna do so good for me.
yeah,
And it's like $2,000 a song.
it's not cheap.
That's
Even-
12 grand.
Yeah,
How am I gonna do this?
and then
And then
promoting
another-
and everything else, and music baby or CD baby and everything. You know more than I do. It's crazy.
It's well, I use Smith Music, and Smith Music's like
Okay.
a legit distributor. They're not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one of these they're not one of these
Sure.
Amazon type like TuneCore or CD Baby
I
and
know,
shit.
yeah.
You actually get a rep that you have their number and you
Okay.
call them and they help you out and do everything. But they don't have any setup cost at all. They just take 10% of everything you make of the life of.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's real fair.
Yeah, and it's really nice. So luckily it doesn't cost anything for me to distribute a song. It only costs for me to create it. And then if I want to do a radio push, you gotta pay for that. If I want to do a music video, that's another $2,000 to $3,000.
Yeah, that's all it costs for a music video. That doesn't sound too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still a lot of money. I'm not, but
I think I spent like $2,100 on my Ride With Me video, which is the
Yeah.
most produced video.
who'd you get to do that with? Or who did
Darwin Macon.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, here in town. He's amazing, but man, he's so fucking busy, dude.
Yeah.
Trying to get him locked down to do something. I think this new song that I just released, I'm Here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a video with my iPhone and make it look like all home footage.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
I can get behind that. That'd be cool.
I think I'm gonna.
It gives that more live feel, so I'm down with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, me and my manager Dwayne, he's my drummer. We're kind of going back and forth about music videos, like what we need to do.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, like with the Ride With Me video, it had a storyline, which is cool. I like storyline videos.
Yeah.
But also, there's parts I'm standing on a fucking railroad track singing my song, and there's parts I'm sitting out by a fence singing my song. I don't like that shit. There's nothing special about that shit. I don't want to do it. Also, like playing live, like having the band actually play live. Everybody does that shit. There's nothing special about that. I want, if I'm gonna do a video, I want my videos like, I don't know if have you ever seen my Monsters video?
I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen the Ride With Me, but I haven't seen the Monsters
Okay,
one.
you got to check out the Monsters video. Dude.
Absolutely.
The Monsters video is it's just me. There's no characters. I mean, that's it, and it's pretty intense.
Monsters video. As soon as I get in the car or get home, I'm definitely.
Yeah, check that one out.
Always make to-do lists.
It's pretty intense, bro. It's pretty intense.
Okay, yeah.
But that's the kind of video I want to release.
Okay.
Kind of like Morgan Wallen when he did "Cover Me Up."
Yeah,
the video
okay.
he made for that,
Sure.
stuff like that. That's kind of the videos I like. Small movies.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
I get
don't
that.
want
Yeah.
to do.
Like, tells a story and gets you in the
Yeah.
feel and sets the mood for the song to prosper, and yeah. I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. But really, music videos are kind of a waste of money now because nobody's really consuming 4-minute videos.
It's got to be like, was it 2 3/4, 2:45 is what the standard is now, or some shit? 3:15. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't even
Well,
know.
sorry, I don't have any music out to push or anything like that. This gives you an opportunity to talk about your stuff, though. So
I talk about my stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people have been like, "Hey, you need to let the guest talk more," and I'm like, "Well, it depends on the guest. Like, you're talking a lot because you're obviously a fucking talker. I got some people in here. They come in and they're just like, yeah. And what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, but you're also, just to give a prop to you, you're really good about stopping and letting them talk and still having the tangent ready to go or amalgamate the conversation as it needs to. So you're really good at this, man.
Thanks,
I appreciate this so far. It's been really cool. So
Yeah, a lot of people were like, you have to go in and you have to edit out the blank spaces, and I'm like,
what blank fucking
I
space?
haven't had any blank space in my podcast. Dude, the one with me and Candace.
Yeah,
I mean, it was.
I'm excited to watch that. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm doing the camera editing on it, and it's like
Dude, I'm having to switch the camera so fucking fast because it's like we're so boom, 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 boom. It's insane.
Just make it worse, both of y'all talking the whole time.
Well,
I'm sure.
Well, I can't do it on that one because I already fucked it up.
Oh shit!
Because okay, so the first 9 episodes I've released, and the 10th episode that I'm going to release was Dalton Ponder, Earl Shreds. I don't know if you know.
I know
him.
Dalton. Yeah.
Yeah, so Dalton is the one that edited those.
Okay.
And he doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to start doing on my own after he gets me the last episode.
Okay.
Because I need them more consistently done. And I'm just going to do them myself.
He's pretty busy too. He's got 3 different bands now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I know that, we worked out a deal and he was editing to me for super cheap, and he's a friend of mine. I love the dude.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that I want to do everything myself if I can.
I get that. It's not so much the control; it's the knowing that it's done properly, and you don't have to go back and redo it, kind of thing.
Well, not only that, everything that I'm reading says that if you really want the algorithm to pick up your podcast, it needs to be the same time. You got to have one scheduled the same time every time for 6 weeks straight.
Okay, that makes sense.
Before it'll actually start to pick up on everything. And so if that's the case, I can't be waiting 2 weeks for
a turnaround. Yeah. Even if it's the pipeline's full to where the 2 weeks once releasing, it's still something happens and you don't have content for 2 weeks. So I get that.
Yeah. And listen, I appreciate him, and I said, I'm not talking shit about him either. I love him. I think he's great. He's a fucking character, that's for sure.
He is. He's come out to see us a couple times when we didn't have a show, and we played together. We played together at Lake Houston. Maybe we played. Oh, it's like an artist showcase or something like that. Lake Houston Brewery. I think it's how we met the first time, or whatever. But
yeah, we had never met, and then I just got on and started commenting on their podcast, and he asked me to come on the podcast, and so I met him for the first time when we did the podcast, and we just hit it off immediately. I think we did like a 3.5 hour podcast that night. We had a great time.
Yeah.
I just like the dude. I like what he stands for. I like the fact he puts his shit out there, and as he puts his opinion out there, and
doesn't give a fuck. It's fun. He's a real live energy kind of guy, and that's what I love in this.
He just always seems stoned to me.
I'm not going to attest or claim, but it seems like he is always.
I don't know if he is or not.
I mean, just from being able to detect it,
Yeah, I don't know if he is or not. I like him a lot, though.
Yeah.
There's so many good people in this town, man. Like, there's so many good folks in this town. And for every one shithead that pisses me off and that I get attitude
there's
about.
20, 30, 40 more that don't. They're ready to do anything for you, drop of a hat. And people ask if I ever have ambitions for Nashville or anything. I'm like, absolutely not. I never liked the Nashville scene necessarily. Not that I know anything about it. Or Austin, I'm like, people literally have to pay to go play in Austin, like just to get behind there to make tips. No, they're not loving of music over there like they are here. I'm sure Dallas is. I haven't played too much in Dallas, but I've heard it's a pretty cool scene, but not as Houston. If you come out to listen to music, you're listening to music. Usually.
No one in Texas pays what people in Houston make.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's true. No one. I mean, it's the bigger bands, of course, but if you're what you get, like let's say. Like, what do you get for like a
like 3-hour show is usually about 300,
250, 300, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, I get it a little bit more. I'm like between 300 and 500.
That's that.
But if you go to San Antonio, man, it's like 150, 175, 200. If you go to Austin, it's way less than that.
College Station tried to get me out there like for 4-hour show for like $100.
Yeah.
Like, no. Beaumont, where I came from, there's pretty much just one booking agent for the most part, and they're close, but they're about probably 80% of what they pay here. So, $200 for a show and something like that, which is not great, but that's all they got.
But on the flip side, what you should do, and this is a good topic to bring up right now, because everything that's going on in the social media world right now is about venues closing down.
Oh man, it's getting.
And I don't know if you read my post yesterday about it, but I made a pretty big post, and it's like,
I don't know.
We can't just blame it on people not being interested in going out and seeing live music anymore.
Yeah.
You can't. That's the easy way out. The easy way out is to say people aren't going out to live music anymore. I can attest to you that is not the case.
I couldn't possibly see it.
Sawyer Park is fucking crowded all the time whenever there's music. I mean, it's like there are venues out there that are doing really, really well.
I mean, White Oak and all those, they're not selling out necessarily, but they're basically selling out the same number of tickets they did before and everything. It's
Right.
all the same shit.
But there's a lot of venues that aren't, and it's like, but if you go look at, and I'm not saying all of them is this case. You know, if you got a bar and you're in a small town and you are on hard times, and you're probably not seeing the numbers you were in. But in this area, you know, the bars are still making money.
They're opening up new ones all the time.
Yeah. So, you know, you got to look at your own marketing.
Yeah.
But you just have to. But also as a musician, right? So right now where I'm at in my career, I used to take a fucking hardcore stance in, listen, it's not my responsibility to bring people out to your bar.
But yeah.
So if a bar owner comes to me and says, well, what's your draw? I would be like, fuck you.
Zero.
I'm not going to play here. Because that tells me that you don't,
Yeah.
that your bar sucks unless somebody's bringing people in. That's what it tells me. And so, that's the way I was.
Yeah.
But now, since I'm doing my own thing, that has definitely switched gears on me now.
Sure.
Now it's like I know I need to prove myself and bring people out. So I will go play a show, you know, up north somewhere for $200, $150 for the first 4 or 5 times, especially if they can get me in there once a month.
Sure.
So that way I can build that up. And then after that, whenever I notice the crowd is starting to get built up, I can go back and say, listen.
And ask for that bigger money that you get. And that's why you get paid more. It's
and that's what I did here. I did the same thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think some responsibility has to fall on the artists themselves to make it. I think it's got to be a partnership between the artist and the venue.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But do you know how many venues that I've reached out to and I'm like, hey, can we do a collab video? So do a promotion, and no one has time to do it. And you're like, okay, I mean, that's cool, but
a social media post, even just a, hey, so-and-so is going to be here tonight. From
dude,
blah, blah, blah.
some
10
of these
seconds,
venues-
5 seconds, or, you know.
yeah,
it's
some of these
insane.
venues that reach out to me to play, I'll go look at their social media, and there's not one mention whatsoever of live music. They post every day, but it's their special.
Yeah.
If all you're doing, I'm sorry, venues, if all you're doing is posting your special for the day on your social media,
You're going to get the people that come in there to just get specials and leave.
yeah, and not only that, nobody's going to see it because the algorithm's going to shut you so far down the fucking rabbit hole because you're not being engaging. Dude, if you have a musician, go live for 30 seconds or for 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Go live and and put that on your Facebook so that way people know, hey, this place has live music. Have a events section on your Facebook.
Absolutely. It takes no time to do a little bit of social media. Like every day you should be making a post. Maybe not pushing it to everybody. I hate that adding everybody or all that crap that they're doing now. That we tags you and all this shit. But hey, this is what we have today. This is what we have today.
Bring it all.
Yeah.
I want all the tools I could possibly have because
sure.
people that are going to unfollow you because of that are not going to come to your shows anyway.
That's very true. That's very true. But hey, we have live music today. We have food. We have this. Trivia's tomorrow's this or something. It takes no time to do that. I don't understand that. To me, like that marketing is free. I took a couple marketing classes in college, and like it was insane what it was back then because it didn't have social media. But like the budget you'd have to have for that, and just a little bit of money you'd have to get the equivalent of how many of people a Facebook post would see would be tens of thousands of dollars. Now it's free and you can't do that. Like it takes nothing on your part. If you can't manage that, then you really need to figure out why you don't have people in there.
Yeah, well,
And
a lot of places,
I can tell you why.
A lot of places are like, well, you got to boost your post. You don't have to boost your post with Facebook anymore. The algorithms have totally changed. They went to more of TikTok. If you post something on Facebook and you get your algorithm stoked because you're continually doing it, more people see your shit.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I invite at least 100 new people a day to see my page because they've liked something that I've posted.
Yeah.
But I post
Incredible.
8, 10, 12 times a day.
Yeah.
But you have to. I mean, I was listening to a podcast the other day. I can't remember what it was. He's a big like influencer guy, and he says if you really want to make a difference, you have to post 8 to 10 times a day on every single social media platform.
The SEO formula for that would absolutely go crazy for that. Yeah. But it is that even that is ideal, obviously. But even just one helps tremendously.
Well, that's what's good about this.
Yeah.
I mean, this gives me so many little 30-second reel snippets that and so I'm just putting them out there. And
there's some funny ones in there too.
yeah, some of them
shorts.
are AI driven. I'll plug the URL into AI and it does it, and I'll just snag those, and I don't really put too much thought into it.
Yeah.
And then some of them I actually go through and edit out that are like some really good jewels that I want to get. But then what I realize is that there's a lot of good shit in here.
Yeah.
Like the Paige Lewis episode, man, I made like probably 25 reels out of that thing.
Nice.
That's way too many. And another thing, like if you're on social media, like don't be scared to reuse content.
Yeah.
Like if you have
Precisely.
a reel that did really good, did decent for you 2 months ago, repost that shit.
Yeah.
Like You don't have to, like, don't be scared to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be new content. I agree. Yeah, reposting shit. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's social media is a big part of it. And I think that's the reason that I'm getting so much notice right now is not necessarily for my music. It's because I'm hitting everything from all angles.
That's true. I could attest that. Not to downplay the music because you're not.
Yeah.
It is. You're out there for more stuff than just music. And
Every angle I can hit, man. I'm doing benefit shows because those people become fans of you really fast if you do them right. I'm doing a ton of podcasts and interviews, radio interviews. I'm doing a ton of skits with other friends and stuff. And I'm actually going to start doing more like one person show skits, like that tell a story. It's like jump cuts.
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing a lot of those. I have a lot of things that what I want to do is instead of going on Facebook and just posting my opinion about something, I want to see if there's a way that I can do a skit. And so basically what I want to do is I want to take the post that I would post, right?
Okay.
And then put it in my notes, post to post, right? And then do a skit, and then today post the post, and then tomorrow post the skit.
I mean, that sounds like something I'd watch.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. You know, it's all those things, but the thing is, you got to keep trying shit.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do it, fine. I'm not telling you to do it.
Yeah.
But don't complain. Don't use the words "I'm shadow banned." You're not fucking shadow banned, bro. Like unless you're fucking putting swastikas on your shit, or you're a knife company, or you're or a gun company, I get that shit being shadow banned. I understand it. I mean, it's bullshit. Yes, it's bullshit, but I get it. But if you're just a normal person that talks shit, or you're just a normal
That's
everyday
usually
Joe
going to
or
help
whatever,
you. You're usually going to have more people bitching about it.
You're not shadow banned, dude. I promise you. Mike Donnell, him and I had a great conversation here, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm shadow banned." I was like, "Dude, you're not fucking shadow banned. Like, you just have to put out." More content and the right content. You would just have to. Not everything has got to be, you know, you can't just post a show flyer every day. And not that he does that. He does some funny stuff too, but you can't just post your show flyers. I go to so many people's Instagrams and I'll look and they're like, "How do you have 13,000 followers?" And I'll go look at their page and they only have 300 something followers. I'll look at it and it's just show flyer. And I'm like,
no other way to, no other marketing tools. Yeah.
I can tell you this: I don't want to follow somebody that's just posting their show flyers.
Yeah.
Like I don't, you know. If I want to know where you're playing, I'll go to your website.
Simple enough, right?
I'm not saying don't post them. I'm just saying you got to do
something
other
else.
stuff. That,
You're not. Don't expect that to be the engagement opportunity that you're looking for. It's just going to be factual information, not engagement. You know.
Right.
So.
And people out there, they want to see shit that they want to get to know. You know, they want to follow somebody and get to know them through their content.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, that's why these podcasts, that's why these long form podcasts are so great. I mean, a lot of people listen to Joe Rogan not because of the guest. They listen to Joe Rogan because of his takes on things.
They like Joe Rogan. Just listen to him what he had for breakfast or whatever he's going to talk about that day. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're getting to know him, and that's what I'm trying to do with this. I'm trying to get. You know, and it's also cross pollination. You know, I reached out to artists that they don't want to do the podcast. I was like, no, I don't do podcasts. Okay, bro. I mean, that's fine. But like the whole point of it is like you have friends. I have friends. If we could do something together, your friends.
We both have each other's friends.
Some of your friends are going to see this shit and they're going to become my friend. And
exactly.
Like that's just how it works. Yeah. But if you're not putting it out there, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it seems obvious, you know.
There's a lot of shit in this world that seems obvious to me.
I guess so too. I guess I am kind of a little smart or whatever, but like, I can look back and just like, how did you not see that? Like, or asking little simple questions like, you know, what's this or that? Like, you have a phone in front of you that can tell you anything you ever wanted to know. Just go to Google and type it in. But people seem to lack the give a fuck, the wherewithal to do any little thing like that.
It's crazy.
It's
man.
Disheartening to say the least. I guess.
I see so much laziness in the world, dude. With so much laziness and just like stupidness, and you're just like, man. But you can't put your expectations on everybody else, and you can't expect everybody to do. You know, Candace, she jumped my ass last night. She did. Listen, we don't get fight very often.
Yeah.
And last night she jumped my ass. We were at the Flying Pug Christmas party, and I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be there, like I said earlier, because there was just too many.
Old memories, maybe, and it's the atmosphere. I got you.
I just don't, and I'm not. You know, I'm not drinking. I'm not getting fucked up. And by the time midnight rolled around, everybody was so drunk, and it's just not what I'm into anymore. I just don't. But the reason I want to go is because I want to be there for her, because she doesn't do this for a living.
Yeah.
She has a 9 to 5 job.
This is still fun for her. I mean, it's still fun for us, but it's,
right. And so when she
I know what you
goes
mean.
out, and without the kids, she actually gets to enjoy herself a little bit. And and so, and as soon as, and she just snapped at me. She's like, "Can you just fucking be more positive?" And immediately I was like, "Fuck!" Like, so I could tell she's mad at me. I could tell. Like, I was looking over there, and I could just tell her in her face she was pissed off. And I just said, I'm sorry. But she was thinking that I was just saying I'm sorry just to appease her.
Yeah.
But no, I like legit heard what she said, like in most cases, and I'm like trying to change it. And so I grabbed her up and we danced, and then I started goofing, and then I just started trying to be goofy and goofing off. And I didn't want to get up and play any songs, but everybody was trying to get me to do it, and I just didn't want to fucking do it. And so finally I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And then it's just, I don't know. I tried to explain myself to her, but she's never going to understand.
Yeah.
But I need to understand her point of view.
Right. Yeah.
And if there's something that I can do minor to change it to give her a better time, then why not do it? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Do I want to be here still? No, I don't want to fucking be here. Do I want to get up and play these songs? No, I don't want to. Like, I just played 4 shows in a row.
Fucking,
you know what I mean?
Feel that, yeah.
Fingers
hurting, voice hurting.
Right. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to do what you got to do.
And that's sweet of you. That's it. I get those realizations with my girlfriend all the time too. And you know what? You're right. She's like, no, don't just say that. I'm like, no, I've never thought about it from that point of view. Let me tell you real fast how my point of view is. And you can actually see where I was wrong for assuming so. And then we're usually pretty good about coming to those. May not be like right at the time, and maybe a little couple hours later when we've calmed down.
Yeah.
But it's really good to be able to have those conversations with your significant other. It's not often that happens. I would say
we have those conversations a lot. But what I don't like is when it's visible in public.
Oh, 100%.
And I could tell it was getting there.
Yeah.
And that's when I was. But also, I legit understood what she was saying. I mean, okay, I'm being a fucking bitch. Like, I'm being a fucking Debbie Downer right now.
Man up and let me have some fun.
Right. I need to stop doing that shit. So it turned the whole night around, and everything was good, and that was it. And she's not as she's a lot more understanding now than when I first started dating her. Because when I first started dating her, she was just so broken down from previous bullshit.
Sure.
And so, but now, I mean, she's just a lot happier now. You can tell she's a lot more confident of a person.
Yeah.
She's, I mean, even her posture, you can tell she's like walking more up straight, and she's just, it's really, really cool to see her.
I believe that, man. Especially from your point of view. It's you probably played a big part in that, and it's just probably reassuring and reaffirming how.
Yeah, I don't know.
Positive.
I mean, I don't know. I think she would have got there regardless. I just think that she's just becoming more comfortable in who she is.
I wouldn't say because of you, but you're certainly part of it. So that's just it's just nice, I think, to see.
I mean, my new song that I released, I'm Here is that's what it's about.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know who's calling me from El Campo, Texas.
Right. I just got a weird one too. Like, I don't know. I'm always getting calls, but yeah.
It's hard. Listen, to do what we do for a living, especially when you get up on like where I'm at, where sometimes I'm going out of town for 3, 4, 5, 6 days at a time.
Yeah.
It's hard on a relationship, man, and you have to have a very trusting relationship and a very secure. And we weren't always that, because of my past and because of her. Just
sure. Yeah.
But now we're pretty solid, dude. She's pretty. It's pretty awesome. It was definitely, what it really boils down to is I finally met someone that I love more than myself.
No.
And I think that's really what it really.
It's sappy, but it's an honest observation. I can see that. We've only been together a year and a half, so I don't want to say that, but I can see where that would be coming to fruition up to that point. Hey, I care more about this person than I do my own self, and let's make this work. So yeah.
I mean, you don't always have to get the last word. You don't always have to fucking.
I'd rather be happy than right all day.
100%.
Man, if you can't tell, I'm a know-it-all, and I don't mean to be. I got it honestly from both my mom and my dad, and I've done really good about pushing it back. But I mean, I am, and it's not that I'm trying to be snooty or I'm better than you. I know these things, and they just pop out before I can think of that I'm saying them, and just because I've studied.
But you're
so
probably
much.
somebody, right? And that's the difference, right? The difference is, I know when to say I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say it all the time. I have no problem with it. Like
Me
I
neither.
have no fucking clue. But give me a couple minutes, I'll probably figure it out real quick.
Yeah, I will say I don't fucking know. Like if we're
Yeah.
talking about like, let's go back to the vaccines. When the vaccines came out, my answer was I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Everybody that claims to know doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't
So,
know. I don't know a fucking thing. What I know is that I had it and I got over it, so I don't feel like I need a vaccine. That's what I know. I know that for sure.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know if it'll kill you. I don't know if it won't. I don't know if it'll give you fucking seizures. I don't know if I don't know if it'll make your dick fall off. It won't. I don't know. And that's what we need back. That's what we need in relationships. That's what we need in fucking government. That's
Yeah.
what we need in friendships. We need that in bar talk. I don't know. Like, you can't tell me that you're a fucking truck driver that's been driving a truck for 35 years and and you're an expert on foreign policy and you're an expert on virology and you're an expert on the economy. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Could you be? Yes, you could be. You could be. You could be very, very studied in all those things.
Sure.
Odds are you're not.
Absolutely. And you know,
I'm a dumb fucking musician. I'm a musician. I play music for a living. I know some project management stuff. I know some IT stuff. I'm pretty smart when it comes to some stuff. Most part, everything I know is from what I've been told. I just repeat a lot of shit. I don't fucking know. But when I do know something, I know it.
absolutely know it. Yeah, I agree. You know, fuck, I guess we got time. I preface anytime we're having an argument or an intellectual debate of we don't truly know anything, right? 1 + 1 is 2. I mean, if I have an apple and you have an apple, I give you my apple. You have 2 apples, right? We know that we could repeat it. But have you ever tried that experiment somewhere else, a different planet, anywhere else? You know, we don't know that that's universal truth.
Right.
But we can accept probably that's going to happen. So establishing a repeatable result truth from anything that you're going to have as far as a discussion, let's base it off of that. You know, your feels don't matter.
Right.
That's not reproducible. You know, let's say we don't know whatever theory of anything happens is not true because we don't know. Well, we know because the math works out. We can prove it over and over again in every scenario that we've ever done that it does work out. So to know those things is to know something, and people claim to know things that doesn't even follow anywhere close to that.
Right.
That,
Dude,
that
the other day.
logic.
Fuck, man. Goddamn. So the other day, it's these fucks that think they know everything, and when they talk, you just realize immediately, dude, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Well, I was out at my family
All the time.
I was out at my
Those people.
family Thanksgiving the other day. Right, family Thanksgiving, and my family.
This is
dude,
gonna be fun.
Don't even get me fucking started. I'm not even gonna discuss the bullshit that happened on politics. I'm not even. But before all that happened,
Yeah.
I was already in a fucking hot space because me and my son,
Mm-hmm.
my oldest son Gavin, were having a conversation.
How old is he?
He's 24.
Okay.
He is like me. He's very self-aware of his own, flaws and his own intelligence.
Sure, yeah.
And he strives to be smarter.
Most intelligent people do.
Right. He strives to be smarter. He strives to be better than he was today. He strives to gain knowledge.
Yeah.
And he listens to the Rogan podcast. So we were talking about aliens, and we were talking about the
Nice.
fucking the pyramids.
Yeah.
Well, this dumb fuck, I don't even know who he is, dude. I don't even know who the guy was.
Don't sugarcoat it.
I've never met him before. I have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
He comes in and he starts saying things like, well, the pyramids, they actually don't actually face northeast, south, and west or whatever. And they're not actually, blah, 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 blah. They're not actually fine. They're not actually perfectly square and all that shit. And I'm letting him say these things, knowing that he's a fucking moron, because this has all been proven.
Yeah.
Like, this is a proven thing. The pyramids in Egypt all face exactly the direction that they face, and that's what everybody's trying to figure out. How the fuck do they make them? And now, what he's basing this off of is this dumb fuck went to South America to some pyramids and saw some pyramid ruins, and they're not that impressive. And now all of a sudden, he fucking knows everything about pyramids.
Yeah.
And then it went, but it wasn't just that. He went from that to it just started going down this fuck. Because I'm gonna fucking now you're firing me up,
All right.
and so I'm gonna say you're full of shit.
There could be some merit to not necessarily pointing true north about 80,000 years ago, because it does kind of teeter-totter true north. But if he certainly probably wasn't meaning that. But so anything aside from that is just
No. This guy. I mean, you could just tell he's one of these fucks.
ignorance.
That you could just tell he's one of these guys that thinks he knows things because he's heard them, but he doesn't really.
Conjecture
fucking know.
isn't learning stuff, people.
Yeah.
peer-reviewed studies, mathematics, that's about how you know things. That's about
Yeah.
it. Not hearing conjecture. I believe this. Well, you're wrong.
Yeah, you can believe all you fucking want to believe, but
Yeah.
if it's 95 degrees, it's 95 degrees. That's it. The temperature is 95 fucking degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, how you feel about what that temperature
Right.
is not science.
Yeah, and the science takes it even further than that. We know it's 95 degrees because we know there's certain frequency vibrations of whatever atoms are in that occupied average space to equal that shit. So to get down even further into science, I know it's 95 degrees because I know these frequencies are happening.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, a thermometer told me so or something like that. You can measure actual scientific fact, So,
Right.
I did take it a little further for you, but
right,
yeah,
but
that's
you know
the
what I'm
concept.
talking about. But
exactly.
how you feel about that,
That makes no difference.
Some people don't think 95 is hot, and some people think 95 is hot.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's just some people think 50's cold, and some people think it's not. I mean, that's just the way it is. The way you feel about the temperature is subjective. The temperature is not subjective.
Correct, but.
Like you said, 1 + 2 is 2. If I give you my apple, you have 2 apples. The way I feel about only having 0 apples does not mean that I have apples.
Right, exactly, and that's basic fundamentalism of Euclidean logic. That's it.
Yeah, I was fucking hot, dude. It was one, and then that just steamed over into this political fucking debate, and it's just I say all the time with politics. I say it every fucking time. The way I define my politics is I believe everyone has a bubble. And I feel that you should be able to have the freedom to do whatever you want to do inside your bubble as long as you're not intruding on anyone else's bubble. And I've put this thing to the max in every fucking scenario. In every scenario it works. People say, well, what if somebody's doing heroin? Okay, if someone is doing heroin and they're handling their high and they're not impeding on anyone else's bubble, meaning their kids aren't starving, they're not stealing from somebody to get their money to get their fix. All these things, if they're not intruding on anyone else's bubble, they should be able to do whatever they want to do inside their bubble.
Absolutely.
That is my political beliefs from start to motherfucking finish. The only time it gets hairy is the abortion debate, because now does the whatever the fuck embryo, whatever you call it,
right.
does the thing growing in your belly, that's going to be the future asshole that's growing in your belly. Does it have its own bubble? You know what I mean? And so that's that. We could debate that, but everything else, it works perfect. I mean, it just really does.
It really does, and it's.
If you want to be a hoarder, be a fucking hoarder. If you want to fucking be a whore, be a whore. If you want to fucking be a whatever you want to do, just do it. You should be able to do it, and the government should not be able to tell you can't do it, and another human being should not be able to tell you
exactly.
You
Just true laissez-faire hippies. That's all. That's what I want with the world. Don't touch my drugs and don't touch my money. And what else do we have to debate about?
Yeah,
leave me fucking alone.
Leave me alone. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. If we would start doing that, we wouldn't need all this other shit.
Exactly. Taking that premise and starting from scratch would be nice, but I don't think we can do that now. I don't know what's going to take to reset all this turmoil of the government, but something one day has got to give. We're speeding towards a wall. At some point, it's got to give.
I mean, I think what we need, and this is what I say every time, is we need more conversation. I think Joe Rogan is very, very good for this country. I really do. I think the people that have an issue with him one way or the other, they don't actually listen to him. Yeah. I think if they actually listen to a substantial amount of his stuff, he is just a common sense thinking person. And he tells you right off the bat, he's just a dumb fucking comedian. He doesn't know anything. He just, but he's pretty fucking smart. He's pretty smart. He's
very intelligent. Yeah. And that's,
And so I just think we need more conversation, especially with people you don't agree with.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. And true conversation, not just one-sided or, just let me get my point across or just actually learn. I genuinely want to learn something. I want it to be wrong because then, I didn't truly know that thing if it was wrong, and now I actually do know it. So it's really nice to know things and apply that, I guess. But it's difficult.
Right, but some people don't want to be proven wrong so bad that they get to the point, and that's when it gets to the point where we are right now. Yeah. You have the left and you have the right. Yeah. Right? That's what you have. And the left won't shut up about this. The right won't shut up about this. And they're just going at each other's fucking throats. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's about being who's the loudest.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And no one's getting anything done.
Or who's the most popular. It's,
and nothing's getting done. And so
presidential elections is nothing but a popularity contest at this point. Yeah,
it's stupid.
That's crazy.
I mean, how much power does the president actually have these days?
These days, a lot more than they're supposed to, but
I mean, really? Because Trump couldn't get shit done.
yeah,
He
but
tried. He
you're
couldn't.
not supposed to. All the executive orders they do and stuff are not meant for what they're meant for, but they do them anyway.
Well, the reason they do them is very simple, because the fucking other dipshits can't get their shit together.
Yeah, Congress has always been pretty gridlocked from the beginning. That's why it took so many things to amend the Constitution and stuff.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So terrible. Golly, it's terrible. And I don't want to get back off on that shit, but it's just so bad. And really, to be honest with you, just a few things could fix it.
Yeah.
But you know what's really fucking funny? This is the funny part. The funny part is the American people that are on the fringe,
Yeah.
they can't sit down and have dinner with each other. I'm talking about the ones that are fringe. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to see a person that is like a hardcore Second Amendment supporter going out to lunch with someone who's a fucking hardcore. You're just not.
Yeah.
But guess what?
I was waiting for the thing you're going to use as the placeholder, the hardcore. What are you going to call them?
Yeah.
Come on.
But
Well, yeah, I know what you mean.
But in Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
that hardcore politician that's hardcore Second Amendment and that hardcore, they go to fucking dinner all the time.
They're going, yeah.
And they're looking at us. They're looking at us American people and how we're fucking arguing. They're like,
that's
we got them right where we want them.
There's probably a few in Washington that aren't that way, but
Yeah.
I think there's way more that are absolutely that way, and there's probably a big bulk that are just trying to do their what's best, I guess. But for the most part, it's crazy.
I think everybody goes. I think maybe not everybody. I think the majority of them go in there and wanting to do good. I really do.
I could see that. Yeah,
And I think that once they're in there for a term, maybe 2 terms, they realize that. Well, a term, because if you don't fall in line, you don't do the things you're doing.
you don't
and
get a
start
second
raising
term.
money. You don't get a second term.
yeah.
So, yeah, whatever. You know what? Fuck the federal government. I
know.
when basically what's going to happen is when they come after me for taxes, I'm basically going to. That's whenever the lawsuit will start. And I'll be like, okay, here's a countersuit, and let's go. Will I win? No. I'll probably have to pay them a lot of money and.
Maybe I'll get enough traction. And
But I guess what? It will be a very public and very vocal situation.
Yeah.
And it's going to gain fans.
And you have the following behind it to get it big enough to where you'll have even more people get behind it. So yeah.
Hopefully, I can't even get my following right now. I can't even get Buc-ee's to fucking respond to me back. Those fucking assholes.
Who else? Name them out there. Who else you trying to get
I
hold of?
want to get big enough. I want to get big enough just to where Buc-ee's has to respond to me.
Okay. Man, you got to set those goals, and that's a good one. I like that.
That's so
Like I said, I just want to get big enough to where I don't have to load my own shit in anymore.
That's great. I would rather load my own shit than do some of this other stuff.
Right.
I wish I didn't have to book my own shows. Golly, booking sucks.
I don't mind the booking. I don't like the there's 4 other guys in my band, and going around their schedule and stuff, they're really pretty lenient and stuff, which is cool too. But sometimes it's a pain in the ass. Like, no, I need you to be here at 7, like I said. And like, what the fuck, But everybody else has their own lives too, so I understand. But it's a pain in the ass. That's the part I don't like. The management part, I guess, is what I would say. If I had a manager, would be awesome. But like, I like the booking, man. I get so many people reaching out to me, or hey, won't you play here, Jeremy? Like, I'll just reach out. Who does your music booking? I would like to talk to them. It's so easy and so fun to have those conversations.
It's
for me.
easy here in Houston.
Yeah. Oh, I bet it sucks everywhere
No,
else.
right. Oh, dude. Yeah, here in town. I mean,
easy, man.
Dude, I could play 10 shows a week if I wanted to here in town.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it's whenever you're trying to get out into other markets, dude. It's so fucking difficult, man.
Yeah, I could believe that.
It's so hard.
I believe it.
So hard.
I'll be leaning on you whenever I get to that point.
Well, I talked about that recently too. It is one thing that is really cool is that I'm getting to the point now in my career where my success is starting to trickle down to my friends.
And that's a beautiful thing.
And that's what I want. I'm telling you right now, the very first thing I would do with a payday, well, besides take care of the tax situation, and also probably marry my girlfriend and probably get us a house.
Maybe a little vacation.
But
anyway, go ahead.
The very next thing I would do after doing those few things is I would start me a label. I 100% would. And it would be a non-profit label. It would be a label that, I mean, I wouldn't say completely non-profit, but not a greedy, I want to make every cent I can off these people.
Yeah,
it would be
You could organize it to where like the people you have employed for you get paid, and there's a certain profit percentage. It's very ethical and fair. Like, hey, we're going to make 5% of whatever, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm talking about instead of it being 80-20.
Yeah, absolutely.
The label side,
sure,
like it is in Nashville.
the
80-20 the other way. Like, hey, I'm going to get you going. I'm going to pay for your recordings. We're going to get you an album out. We're going to get you for the first 2 years. We're going to fucking take care of everything.
And the loyalty you'd have from those musicians, they would probably dump more money back into you than you could have taken from them. So,
well, just
not even that, but
to me, it's not about the money, dude.
Sure,
it's just about, and that's why I do the artist spotlights I do sometimes. That's why I try to get people on stage. There's so many beautiful, fantastic, wonderful people out there, great artists, talented artists that they're putting out wonderful music that need a little bit more light shed on them.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And the really, really good ones are usually some of the more humble ones that just, I don't want to do that. I don't want to bug everybody or this or that. And like, those are the ones I would love to spotlight too, man. You've been doing longer than me, but like seeing this industry, there's a ton of people that need to be, everybody should be listening to these guys, and nobody's even really heard of them. Or some of the big guys that are, getting the traction that on y'all's level. It's like, why?
Yeah. I just know so many people, man, that are just such good people, man.
Yeah.
That if they could just get a little bit of help, a little bit of a leg up, it would change their whole life. And if I could do that for them in the music side of things, that's really all I want. All I want, man, I'm not trying to become the next Taylor Swift. I'm not trying to be worth fucking $700 million, billion, $1 trillion.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm trying to do, man. I want to live a comfortable life. I want to be able to go on a vacation every year with my family. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to have a few toys. I want to have a fucking Harley again. I want to be able to just have a few things. I want to have a house and a fucking decent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. And then the rest of it, man, I want to just,
open the label. I always thought about opening like a resort type venue place where I kind of lived, and like, hey, y'all come out for the concert this weekend. It's going to be, Jeff Kennedy's coming and joining me on stage, and we're just going to have fun. I always thought I would give back to it if I ever got rich, and it would be so much fun to live like that, It
would be,
to help people left and right. It would.
I would love it. It would be so. It'd be great, man. If I could get to the point where I make, I don't know, $300,000 a year is what I'm making personally.
Yeah.
I'm set, dog. I'm good.
Yeah.
Mine
would be significantly less, but I feel that, anything else is just extra. And
well, I'm just talking about today's economy.
Yeah, of course.
Of
course. Yeah.
I haven't done it since 2020, but before 2020, I was making six figures and I was doing just fine.
Right.
But
now it's got to be multiple six figures to get that same, comfort level. So
yeah. I used to not have to think about where I was going to go. If I want to go to Vegas, I would just hop on a fucking plane, go to Vegas. I want to just get back to that. If I can just get back to that, I'm fine. I don't need, I'm not a guy that I don't need fancy cars. I don't want a big house.
It's a lot to take care of.
Yeah. I don't need that. I just need good family and good friends and enough money to be happy. And if we could just all get to that
mentality, then life would be easier. But
I don't understand. Some fucking body just signed. Ohtani just signed with the Dodgers for 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah. How much?
$700 million.
$70 million a year. Is that right? That's insane.
$700 million. Now think about this. That means that you could give, with just that one contract, you could give 700 people $1 million. What do you think does better for the economy? 700 people having $1 million, or one person having $700 million?
It's being that I've studied this stuff, I know that 700 people, obviously, it's just, it would be so much, it'd be exponentially bigger, because those 700 people are going to know people that they're going to help along the way. Maybe they open a business because of that. The people that they know are going to help aspire to make it bigger, and they also, branch out. It's exponential growth at that point, and it's huge economically. So yeah. But baseball, apparently, people still fucking watch baseball, I guess. It's a great sport. I love the Astros and stuff. But
listen, I'm not even knocking his contract in particular. I'm just saying, it's like the fact that anyone the fact that we live in a country of the United States of America,
Yeah.
and any of us can make $700 million,
For playing with the ball.
not even that, but yet so many people can barely keep a roof over their head. That's where my issue. That's where it is. That's where, and a lot. And listen, I get it. If you're one of these people that are like the lower 10%, they don't work, they don't want to work, they don't want to do shit for themselves. I get it. I understand. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But the problem is because of our policies in this country, and here we go, fucking get political again. Because of policies, now it's starting to affect the people that are doing shit.
Right.
Like the people that are working 40 hours a week that used to have a good job. They're barely making it.
Yeah, they almost need welfare to help them get by. It's insanity. Yeah, it all trickles down, or sometimes up, I guess. But
so something's got to fucking give. I was so high the other night. I was actually thinking about a pyramid pay scheme.
okay,
Think about this. Listen to this.
I'm listening.
Of course, let me preface this with I'm full of shit,
That's okay.
but I thought it was funny. The max amount you can make a year is your age.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're 60 years old, the max you can, I'm not saying every 60-year-old person makes 60 million. I'm saying the max you can make is $60 million.
Okay.
Anything over that trickles down to the next person until they hit their age. And then anything after that trickles down to the next person hits their age. By the time you got all said and done with all the money that's gone with fucking all these CEOs and shit making hundreds of millions of dollars, by the time you get all the way down and it trickles all the way down, you're going to have a shit ton of people that are way better off. And you're going to have some people that aren't as good as they were off, but
Yeah.
they're still fucking pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, they're gonna be okay. Yeah.
No, I'm full of shit. It's not even realistic to make that happen, and it's kind of some that's some redistribution of wealth bullshit.
Right.
But I'm just saying, it's like, to me, what can you do with $600 million that you can't do with $60 million?
At that point, it's generational wealth more so than anything else. It's making sure my sons don't have to work, and
Man, fuck them. All that does is create
little assholes
Little
that
assholes.
can't produce anything. That gets us to the point, that there's the whole circle of weak times or hard times create strong men, and strong men create good times create weak men. All that circle that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. It's absolutely true.
100% true. And that's where we are right now. Rogan talks about that all the time.
Yeah.
That's where we are. That's 100% where we are right now. Is we're weak.
It's even getting worse though.
But then what's going to happen is it getting worse is going to start creating stronger people.
Yeah, actually, I say that, man. There's one little saving hope, and I try not to follow politics or anything to that degree. But they took all the swimming trophies away from the transgender person, which, however you feel about it, great or not, but it's really a big win for women. Really.
100% agree.
And it's beautiful that something is happening that some people are on the fence about and there's bickering about, and it seems like a win in the freedom category of let's do this.
How much further left can we get? Like how much crazier can we get?
Yeah, I'm
Like, I understand the right has some fucking wackos, dude. I get it. I mean, I definitely understand there's some wackos.
yeah.
But if you're telling me that something that I've been taught my entire life is a sign of respect,
Right.
the words yes ma'am and no ma'am,
Right.
is now a sign of disrespect, we're not the same people.
No.
We're not from the same fucking planet. If you look like a girl, I'm going to say yes ma'am, no ma'am. I don't care what age you are.
I've tried to stop myself.
I'm not doing it. I'm not. I
don't care.
refuse.
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
I'm not playing your fucking game. Like, it's fine. Now listen. If once we become friends, or once we become acquaintances, or once I know that you don't like being called ma'am, right? I'm not going to call you ma'am anymore. That's fine.
That's yeah.
But for you to be offended for the first time I see you to say yes ma'am, fuck you. Like, I do it for the drive-throughs. If they sound like a dude, I say yes sir. If they say I drive, I
don't mean to. It's second nature. It's
Yeah.
like we were beaten into us.
That's the way I was fucking raised.
Literally beaten into us. Like, just how it is.
Yes ma'am, no ma'am. I call my niece ma'am. I mean, it's
Yeah.
even the same thing. You got some of these bitches from up north. They'll come down. You're like, yes ma'am. Oh, don't call me ma'am.
I'm not an old maid.
Yeah,
I'm like
sorry.
I just call that 3-year-old ma'am too. It doesn't matter if you're 3 or 103. You're ma'am to me forever and ever. Sorry.
Yeah. So intent matters.
Absolutely.
Intent matters. If I'm coming to you from a sign of respect, yes ma'am, no ma'am. and you get offended by that, you're the asshole in that equation,
Right? Yeah,
not me.
exactly. Exactly. It's intent.
But also, don't be such a fucking cockfuck to refuse to do it just to be a dick. Like, once you realize that they don't like it,
yeah.
then, if you slip up, that's fine. But when you're like, and then you double down on it, like, I got some transgender friends, dude, and I don't knock anything about what they. I mean, that's fine. The only problem I have is whenever you start doing it to kids. But before, other than that,
Absolutely.
I have no problems, dude. I love everyone. Again, that bubble thing, that fucking bubble
Doesn't
thing.
affect me.
Right, but what you're doing now is you're affecting me.
Yeah.
Now you're affecting me. Now what you're doing in your bubble is affecting me because now I can't talk the way I've talked my entire fucking life.
Exactly.
Not only that, here's a real fucking thing. There are entire languages that are set up
Oh, it's Spanish, feminine and masculine. You have to.
under the sex.
Yeah. Exactly.
And sex and gender are the same fucking thing. Stop it. They're the same fucking thing.
Hold on, real fast. You said cockfuck earlier, Morgan. If you made it to this point and so far, that's another word for you. She makes this wall full of words, just funny words.
I say cockfuck all the time. It's one of my
That's
favorite.
got to be one that's written down. The last one was fuck. I don't know.
It's one of my favorite words.
I don't remember what they were.
Cockfuck and
But
fucktard.
Just funny. Like her name's Morgan, so like she has a drink called the Morgasm. It's just a shock drink. So just clever little play on words type stuff.
Yeah.
She makes a whole wall of them. But cockfuck, that's got to be the next one. Hopefully you made it this far.
About the sex Morgan.
I mean, yeah. But yeah.
That's funny.
So
But
anyway,
that's
so
basically where we're at.
no, the transgender stuff. I agree, man. Like I don't. It doesn't affect me until it affects me, and once it does, then you've disrespected me, not the other way around. You know, like
Yeah.
I have respect for everyone. I don't care your color, whatever. You know,
Me neither.
I don't give a shit.
I mean, listen, and here's why I really take exception to it, because
Yeah.
I was not always this way. Like, I was raised pretty far right wing, pretty racist, pretty like we used all the bad words, and
I come from a town of 2,000 people. We were Southern Baptist.
yeah,
Every
you got
Sunday and Wednesday and
you
Sunday
got
night.
about 2,800 more people than I came from. So you can imagine that
yeah, no.
situation.
I feel you.
And it's like I know where I've come from. I know the things that I've changed in myself personally
Yeah.
to become a better, a more accepting person, a more open-minded person.
Sure.
And I'm not gonna get. That's it. I mean, I know what I've gone through, and I'm not gonna fucking be called. And I think we've talked about this on this podcast, but here's another thing: the fucking words homophobe, transphobe, xenophobe. First of all, I ain't scared of none of y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So why's the word homophobe?
Yeah.
I'm not scared of you.
Phobia. Yeah.
Ain't nothing scary about you. Actually, it's the opposite of that. Like, I'm not worried about you at all.
Right.
What can we come up with a better word than transphobe? Like, I don't know.
Because the people who are doing all this is the ones controlling the language now.
don't know.
Like how we are just cis males or cis.
Hate speech. That's another thing. Sorry, there's no fucking such thing as hate speech.
I mean, if you're
There's-
talking bad about somebody, everything's hate speech. So
There's
it's
just
like,
fucking speech.
yeah, exactly.
You either have free speech or you don't.
Yeah.
And free speech should be across the board free.
Yes.
Not saying you shouldn't have consequences from it. Not
mean-
saying that.
Yeah. I mean, you have the right.
If you're at a bar and you call a big black dude the N-word and he kicks your ass, you had it coming. You know what I mean?
Right on. Yeah.
But it's not
mean,
hate speech. It's get your ass kicked speech. Like,
That's just dumb. But we have the right to say what we want, but we don't have the right to not be offended. Like, I'm sorry what I said was offensive to you. I didn't mean it that way. If you got offended,
right.
that's okay. It's not an argument. That's a feeling.
Yeah.
I feel that you're stupid. I feel that whatever.
But I will also have a conversation with you about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if I upset you, if I offend
Yeah,
you, if
absolutely.
anything I do that is offensive, even on this podcast, if you listen to this podcast and there's something that I say that just,
Oh, yeah.
don't be a fucking little bitch and go to Facebook and whine about it. Hit me up, shoot me a message, and let's have a fucking conversation about it. I'll matter of fact, I'll get you on the podcast. We can sit right here and talk about it in public. If you want to, or private, dude, I will give anyone my number. You send me a message on Facebook, and we can have a conversation about it. That's how I feel about it.
No, absolutely. That's the way it needs to be. If you can't talk it out, then how, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like, if you can't have the conversation about it, then how strongly do you really feel about whatever was that? And if you can't find out a different way to be able to translate that to me, I let me know how I pissed you off, and if I did it, I'm fucking sorry, and I'll correct that forever. But if I did something that you didn't like, well, that's on you. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
and I've changed my mind based on good conversations.
Yes,
I have.
Every person should be able to do that. It's really difficult.
Dude, there's been certain stances that I've had where I was like, hardcore something, and then had a conversation with someone who's gone through more than I did, or that had more experience or knew more about it than I did.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I never looked at it that way.
It happens a lot with my girl and I. With certain, I can't think of an example right now, but it happens all the time where, oh well, fuck, I see what you're saying now. I never would have thought it like that. I would just saying it like this, and conversations can be easy.
This one is. Look, we've been talking. I don't even know how long we've been talking, but we probably should wrap it up here pretty quickly.
Yeah,
It's getting into the danger zone with the batteries and shit.
I got you. Anything else you want to hit on, or I don't like I said, this is my first time podcasting, so I appreciate it.
Well, what do you think? Did you have fun?
It was a blast. I would love to do this more, man. This is really cool.
Well, so this is the reason why I don't do things like have you come on and promote stuff or play music or doing that stuff, because I just want kind of like Rogan. I just want to have conversations.
Yeah.
And if they're good, they're good. If they're not, people like them, people like them. If they don't, they don't.
They're gonna naturally amalgamate into what they were gonna be. If it's a cool topic that day, then great. If not, that's cool.
Yeah.
And if I had music, maybe I'd plug it, but I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just want to have a conversation. Man, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I like the cross pollination idea. That is cool too.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That, and maybe we talked about something that somebody heard and makes them think, or maybe we piss somebody off. Seriously, maybe we piss somebody off, and then they reach out to us and let us know, and we get enlightened. Like it's dude, only positive things can happen from conversation.
Yeah.
But without conversation, there's no way to respect each other.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, I feel that.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree 100%.
So we just need to talk. Let's talk it out. There's a certain guy in this town that I do not like at all.
When we cut the cameras, you're gonna have to tell me this one.
And once I get to a certain number of followers, listeners, I'm going to invite him on the podcast and say, "Listen, we both know we don't fucking like each other.
Okay.
Let's have a public conversation about it.
Yeah.
Of a cordial public conversation about it, and let's see where the foot lands, where the shoe hits, or whatever the fuck, where the balls hit the wall, where the foot hits the floor, whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think that'd be cool too, man. Kind of like a celebrity death match, but like podcast edition.
I mean yes, that would be entertaining to watch, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially.
All right.
Yep.
Oh shit. I'm breaking stuff.
Don't break it. You can just turn it off.
All right, let's get out of here. I still got a lot of editing to do, so let's get out of here, man.
you.
It was so good talking to you. I feel like I know you better now.
Yeah, for sure,
And,
man. Same.
And like I said, we're buds, but I just didn't know a lot about you.
Yeah, no, that happens, man. We don't have a whole lot of time to talk because we're both gigging. So yeah.
And you're a smart dude, so you're definitely going to be on my repeat guest list for sure.
I appreciate it. If you
Or
have
maybe even have you in for like a co-host thing or whatever.
Yeah, if you have a topic or something in mind, just let me know, man.
Yeah, dude,
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
Again, Jeff, I appreciate it, brother. We'll talk soon. Hopefully, I'll be back on here again.
Oh yeah, release some music.
Yes. All right, man. Thank you, guys.
Don't be a butthole.
That was fun.